Chapter 4566. Not good. Xiao Shiyu's face was pale, but Lin Xian said, "You retreat first?" After saying that, he looked up at the sky and condensed his palms. He used the Tai Chi diagram to attack the sky. The huge yin and yang aura kept spinning. It collided with the opponent's ice and fire claws. Laws instantly erupted. The surrounding world kept shattering. After one attack, Lin Xian retreated with a cold expression. The ice and fire swan in the sky was also blocked. Despicable human. He stared at Lin Xian. He couldn't believe that this kid, who was only at the early stage of the Saint King, could fight against him. The laws of yin and yang. Who are you? He could feel that Lin Xian wasn't from the beast-taming clan. Xiao Shiyu was also stunned. This young man was so powerful. Great, they were saved. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly, "You can't keep the two of us here today. Do you still want to continue fighting? Ant-human, you dare to question my strength?" The ice and fire swan was furious. Lin Xian sneered, "Then you can try." A lot of sword energy emerged from his body, and a sword shadow appeared in his hand. The biting cold aura could destroy the 9 heavens. The ice and fire swan felt his hair stand on end. It was a fatal crisis. He couldn't believe it. This human could threaten him. "You guys are lucky." He spread his wings and flew away, escaping from here. They were saved. Xiao Shiyu heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian put away the sword energy that filled the sky, turned around and asked, "Are you okay?" Xiao Shiyu shook her head. She was injured, but it wasn't fatal. She swallowed the pill and asked, "Thank you for saving me. How should I address you?" "And how should I address you?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "My name is Xiao Shiyu, a disciple of the Xiao clan. I will definitely repay you for saving my life this time. Please follow me back to the Xiao clan. I will definitely treat you with respect." Lin Xian was surprised. "You are Xiao Shiyu?" He was really surprised. He wanted to find Xiao Shiyu before, but he was told that she was in seclusion and didn't want to go back. So he could only stay with Xiao Yunshu for the time being. However, he did not expect to meet Xiao Shiyu on this hunting trip. It was really fate. "You know me?" Xiao Shiyu was stunned, and a trace of doubt appeared on her face. Because she didn't know Lin Xian at all. Lin Xian smiled. He had just joined the Xiao clan recently and had become a sect. Naturally, he had heard of your name. "All right, let's go." The two of them rose into the air and returned together. After entering the Xiao mansion, Xiao Shiyu left. But she remembered the name Lin Xian deeply. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was preparing to return to the mountain peak to continue comprehending and cultivating. The hunt this time had given him some insights. The Tianji Divine Eyes were very powerful and could control demonic beasts at the middle stage of the Saint King realm. He had just started cultivating the melody of phantasmal sound, but he had already discovered its magical effects. Currently, the heavenly secret god eyes was very effective in controlling a single demonic beast. As for the hallucinatory sound song, it was suitable for group attacks. Facing thousands of demonic beasts, Lin Xian's phantom melody was much more powerful. Of course, he could only use illusions to affect the souls of these demonic beasts. He couldn't control them instantly. Controlling thousands of Saint King realm demonic beasts in an instant was probably something that only a few people in Shanghai City could do. On the other side, Xiao Yunshu's face was cold. She had gone out again during this period of time to search for that demonic beast. However, she still couldn't find it, so she was very unhappy and wanted to find someone to vent her anger. The first thing she thought of was Lin Xian. She wanted to torture Lin Xian. However, she couldn't find him. She called Xiaoyao over and asked him. After asking the guards of the Xiao clan, she found out that this guy had gone out by himself. "Damn it, as my disciple, he didn't even inform me when he went out." Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. "When he comes back, I will definitely teach him a lesson." Xiaoyao was also gritting his teeth. If he could use this opportunity to chase this guy out of the Xiao clan, it would definitely be a good thing. Therefore, he ordered the other sects to keep a close eye on that guy and inform him immediately when he returned. Finally, they saw Lin Xian return and immediately reported to Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao told Xiao Yunshu. Xiao Yunshu sneered. She held a staff in her hand. "Let's see how I will deal with him today." She sat on the jade white lion and quickly flew over. When she arrived near the mountain, she stared at Lin Xian. Brat, you have guts. Since you dared to sneak out, let's see how I will punish you today. As she spoke, she waved her hand and the staff fell. Boom. Several mountain peaks were instantly turned into rubble. Lin Xian frowned and grabbed the staff. His face sank. You dare to attack me? Xiao Yunshu was furious. A mere sect dares to teach me a lesson? Now you are obediently accepting your punishment. Boom. Lin Xian directly grabbed the staff and broke it. He threw it on the ground and sneered. You should know that I only came here to continue living in the Xiao clan. I won't listen to your orders. You. Xiao Yunshu was so angry that she was about to cry. The other party had actually broken her magic staff. It was a gift from her grandfather for her birthday. She used it very skillfully. At the same time, she was shocked. She knew the power of this staff. A sage king could not break it. However, the other party easily did it. What kind of power was this? Therefore, she was shocked and angry. She was so scared that she did not dare to attack, but she was also furious. Men, take him down for me. Xiao Yunshu roared. Young Master Xiaoyao took the opportunity and walked over with the other sections. More than 10 sects surrounded Lin Xian. At the same time, many strange beasts flew out, ready to attack. The situation could be said to be extremely dangerous. The people floating around saw this scene and also watched from afar. Cries of alarm rang out one after another. There was someone who didn't know the difference between life and death, daring to provoke Fairy Xiao Yunshu. That was for sure. Xiao Yunshu was the apple of everyone's eye. Who dared to provoke her? Xiao Yunshu's status and talent were top-notch. Coupled with the princess's temper, it could be said that no one in the Xiao clan dared to provoke her. Should they attack? Lin Xian snorted. These people together were not enough. Previously, he kept a low profile because he wanted to stay in the Xiao clan. Now that he had met Xiao Shiyu, he had other opportunities. Therefore, he did not want to stay in the Xiao clan. Thinking of this, his face darkened. He stomped his foot and more than 10 mountains below shattered. The flames on Lin Xian's body became more and more biting cold. He was about to attack. At this time, a voice came from afar. Stop! Who dares to stop me? Xiao Yunshu snorted. At the same time, she said, Xiaoyao, attack. Xiaoyao received the order and quickly attacked. The surrounding sects and beasts also attacked. Their power covered the sky and earth and attacked. At this time, countless purple flowers appeared in the sky. These were violets, blooming all 9 heavens. They blocked and sealed everything. Xiaoyao and the beasts were all surrounded by violets. Xiao Yunshu was stunned. Violets? Could it be? It was Sister Shiyu. She turned her head and saw that a beautiful woman in white was walking over. Chapter 45-67. Sister Shiyu, you've come out of seclusion. Xiao Yunshu happily walked over. The person who came was Xiao Shiyu. After she came back, she immediately called people to inquire about Lin Xian's situation. Soon, she got the news and prepared to come over. When she came near, she saw a sky full of power and demonic beasts attacking. She knew that Lin Xian was in danger, so she immediately used violet flowers to seal everything. Sister Shiyu, don't bother. This guy is too arrogant. I have to teach him a lesson. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth and said. Xiao Shiyu shook her head. Sister Yunshu, give me face and stop. This is Lin Gongzi. He's my benefactor. Benefactor? Xiao Yunshu was stunned. Young Master Xiaoyao and the others were also stunned. What's going on? Xiao Shiyu waved her hand, and the violet flowers in the sky disappeared, allowing everyone to move again. She then walked forward and said, Lin Gongzi, I've let you see a joke. Sister didn't hurt you, did she? No. Lin Xian shook his head. Even if Xiao Shiyu didn't attack, these people couldn't hurt him. Heavens, what's going on? The people from the surrounding sects were all stunned. Wasn't the legendary Xiao Shiyu an ice beauty? She didn't care about anyone. Why was she so enthusiastic about Lin Xian? Even Xiao Yunshu was stunned. Was she dreaming? Sister Shiyu, you weren't deceived by this guy, were you? Xiao Yunshu didn't believe it. Xiao Shiyu said, all right, stop fooling around. Is there some misunderstanding between you and Lin Gongzi? I just happen to lack a helper. Why don't you give me Lin Gongzi? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were even more stunned. Their eyes instantly turned red. Xiao Yunshu was also a pearl genius, but compared to Xiao Shiyu, she was still a little lacking. Xiao Shiyu's identity was a true goddess, an existence that countless people looked up to. However, Xiao Shiyu didn't want to be a disciple, so no one could do anything. They didn't expect that today she would personally ask. Xiao Yunshu gnashed her teeth in anger. She fiercely glared at Lin Xian. Where did this guy get such good luck from? However, since Xiao Shiyu had spoken, it was not good for her to say anything. She could only remind her sister Shiyu that she had to be careful of what this guy was trying to say to deceive her. If he dares to have any bad thoughts, tell me and I will personally suppress him. All right, I got it. Xiao Shiyu smiled and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Gongzi, please. Under the envious gazes of the crowd, Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu left. Then, they went to Xiao Shiyu's residence. Xiao Shiyu's mansion was even more magnificent than Xiao Transport's mansion. He could be said to be the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. After entering her mansion, Lin Xian discovered that there were demon beasts everywhere. Roar! A roar came from the front, shaking heaven and earth. There was also the sound of chains. Xiao Shiyu frowned. She quickly rushed forward. Lin Xian was also curious and looked over. He flew past the pavilions and came to the back of the mountain. Only then did he discover that there was a demon beast sealed with formations and barriers. It was a demon ape. It was very tall, and there were black flames burning on its body. Its arms danced, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Fortunately, he had the chains of law and the formations and barriers on him. Otherwise, he would have escaped long ago. This demon beast cultivation had reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm, and it was extremely violent. After Xiao Shiyu arrived, her face changed. Not good. This guy went crazy again. She quickly took out her jade flute and used the phantom sound. The terrifying sound flew forward and controlled it. The black fire demon ape roared at the sky and let out an extremely unwilling roar to fight back. Xiao Shiyu used the phantom sound song while activating the formation. Finally, Xiao Shiyu suppressed the demon ape again. She heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian looked at this scene from behind. His eyes flickered. This black fire demon ape was very powerful, and it seemed that it was only temporarily suppressed and had not been subdued. Lin Gongzi, I've embarrassed myself in front of you. I've already caught this guy for a long time, but it's probably very difficult to subdue him. This way, please. She brought Lin Xian to a palace nearby. Lin Xian smiled and said, Since you invited me over, I'll be your assistant. Your injuries haven't healed yet, right? Why don't you recuperate? After you recuperate, I'll help you subdue this guy. Lin Gongzi, I know that you're powerful and can contend with the ice-fire swan. However, suppressing a demon beast and controlling it are two different things. Indeed, suppressing it was easy, but subduing it was too difficult. The difficulty was more than 10 times. Lin Xian smiled and said, Don't worry, other than my physique being a little stronger, I also know my techniques. Maybe I can help you. Really? Xiao Shiyu was delighted. That's great. Just like that, she began her seclusion. Half a month later, she came out of seclusion. Her injuries had already healed. Lin Xian also went to observe the black fire demon ape every day. He found some flaws in the black fire demon ape. Then, he had a plan in mind. When Xiao Shiyu arrived, he told her about his plan and told her about it. This black fire demon ape is extremely violent and arrogant. It will definitely not accept being suppressed. We can infinitely magnify its state. Let it go completely crazy. When it goes crazy to the extreme, its aura will definitely drop. That will be the time for you to make a move. After Lin Xian finished speaking, Xiao Shiyu also nodded. She naturally knew, but she couldn't do this alone. Fortunately, Lin Xian said, Leave the front to me, and you'll control the back. Although Xiao Shiyu knew that Lin Xian was powerful, she was still worried. After all, she was the real beast-taming genius, and the #1 genius in the family. If she couldn't do it, could the other party do it? The two came to the back of the mountain again. The black fire demon ape raised its huge head. When it saw Xiao Shiyu coming again, a cold look appeared in its eyes. The next moment, it stood up again and roared at the sky. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "It's starting." Xiao Shiyu nodded and retreated, ready to wait. Lin Xian walked up. Seeing that it wasn't Xiao Shiyu but another unfamiliar human walking up, the black fire demon ape snorted coldly and spat out flames. The terrifying flames enveloped Lin Xian. A cold smile appeared in his eyes. Such an ant could be killed by a flame. But soon, it was stunned. He saw Lin Xian walking out of the flames that filled the sky. Not only that, Lin Xian walked into the formation. He punched it. With a crack, one of its arms was broken. Roar! The black fire demon ape was completely enraged and went crazy. An ant, a human, dared to hurt it. It couldn't stand it. It roared at the sky, and its voice swept in all directions. The entire sky above was shaking. The people in the Shao clan were terrified. What happened? Even the elders' eyes lit up as they looked into the distance. It was Xiao Shiyu's residence. It seemed that she was still trying to subdue the black fire demon ape. The chances of success were not high. Chapter 45-68. The black fire demon ape was extremely violent. With her current strength, it was still too much for her to handle. The elders shook their heads slightly. Although the sound was terrifying, they were not worried. With their Shao manners array formation in chains, these beasts would not be able to escape. However, the failure this time might be a blow to Xiao Shiyu. Xiao Shiyu, who was in front, was also stunned. She knew that Lin Xian was very strong, but she did not expect Lin Xian to be so bold as to walk directly into the array formation. He even injured the black fire demon ape. The black fire demon ape's demonic aura was overwhelming. Its gaze was like a divine lamp, as if it wanted to swallow the heavens and earth. It was really like a demon god. However, Lin Xian was not afraid in front of such a huge monster. In fact, there was an extremely cold radiance in his eyes. Heavenly secret divine eyes. He did not control it. Instead, he used an illusion to magnify the other party's violence. The black fire demon ape seemed to have fallen into a frenzy. It roared towards the sky and attacked continuously. But Lin Xian stood there, unmoved from beginning to end. This situation lasted for a month. After a month, the black fire demon ape's aura weakened. Lin Xian stepped back and said, "That's enough." Behind him, Xiao Shiyu had been waiting for a long time. She rushed up instantly. She used the phantom song to control it. The musical notes jumped out and entered the other party's soul. The black fire demon ape resisted frantically. However, a month of roaring and attacking had already depleted its energy. It was no match for the soul attack at this moment. 5 days later, it crawled on the ground. It was controlled. Seeing the black fire demon ape that had surrendered, Xiao Shiyu could not believe it. She had brought the black fire demon ape back 3 years ago. For the past 3 years, she had come every month to control it and try to subdue it. However, she failed every time. This made her feel hopeless. She was afraid that without a breakthrough in her strength and soul, it would be impossible to subdue it. However, she did not expect that today, 3 years later, with the help of Lin Xian, she finally succeeded. Lin Gongzi, thank you very much. Lin Xian smiled and said, "I only helped a little. The real control is still your work. It's all thanks to the two of us." Xiao Shiyu smiled beautifully. "Greetings, Master." The black fire demonic ape's voice rang out like thunder. When the people of the Shao clan heard this, they were all stunned. Oh my heavens, a demonic beast had been subdued, and it was a black fire demonic ape. It couldn't be, right? Wasn't that brought back by Xiao Shiyu 3 years ago? It was extremely terrifying and violent. Perhaps even the elders might not be able to subdue it. This Xiao Shiyu actually succeeded. Countless cries of alarm sounded. The young disciples were shaken, not daring to believe this. Xiao Yunshu was also surprised when she heard the news. Has Sister Shiyu become so powerful? Although they were all pearls, it was obvious that she was lagging behind by a large margin. The elders of the Shao clan were even more shocked. They soared into the sky and flew towards the back of the mountain. Drizzle, Did you really succeed? When the elders saw the scene below, they were pleasantly surprised. Xiao Shiyu raised her head and looked over. She then greeted, "Greetings, elders." She had indeed succeeded. Hearing this, the elders roared with laughter. Great, this is really great. The #1 genius of the Shao clan is indeed unparalleled. These people were very happy. At this moment, a middle-aged man walked over. He had a tiger's gait and a dragon's might. He nodded slightly. Not bad indeed. With your current cultivation, you were able to subdue the black fire demonic ape. This is really out of my expectations. It seems like you aren't far from becoming a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. Thank you for your praise, uncle. I was just lucky this time. Xiao Shiyu said calmly. The middle-aged man said, "No, you are the #1 genius of the Shao clan. You do have a chance to become a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master." Beast tamers were also divided into many levels. Xiao Shiyu was a one-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. Although she was only a one-spirit beast tamer, her status was already extremely terrifying. One must know that she was a Saint Master. She was only part of the younger generation, and there were very few in the younger generation who could obtain this status. Even Xiao Yunshu didn't have this qualification. Hence, Xiao Shiyu was undoubtedly the #1 genius of the Shao clan. At this moment, the middle-aged man said, although that was the case. However, there were many experts and geniuses in Shanghai City. For example, Qing Chun from the Qing clan. He was the #1 genius of the Qing clan, and he was already a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. It wasn't easy to defeat him. If you can walk together with him, then you will have an incomparable advantage in the upcoming Shanghai Beast fighting competition. You have to think about it carefully. Hearing these words, Xiao Shiyu's face immediately sank. The joy that she had obtained was gone. She said coldly, "The Shanghai Beast fighting competition is conducted by the clan. We are not from the same clan, so how can we work together? Do you want me to be his disciple? Or do you want him to be my disciple?" The middle-aged man laughed. "Xiao Shiyu, you have to be more open-minded. Apart from being his disciple, are there no other possibilities? If you can marry him, then you will be a member of the Qing clan. At that time, the two of you can naturally fight together. I have said this before, don't mention it anymore." Did uncle forget? Xiao Shiyu suddenly raised her head and shouted coldly, "You are too young and don't know that I am doing this for your own good. This Qing Chen is the #1 genius of the Qing clan, and he is also the son of the head of the Qing clan. In the future, he will be able to control the entire Qing clan. He is the most dazzling genius of Shanghai City, and countless girls from the big clans want to marry him. If you can marry him, then it will be your unparalleled glory. Now that you have a chance, how can you not cherish it?" When Xiao Shiyu heard this, she laughed coldly. "Oh, such an unparalleled glory, and uncle is willing to give it to me? Uncle, you have a daughter, right? Why don't you let your daughter accept this unparalleled glory?" The middle-aged man's face sank. "Xiao Shiyu, is this the attitude you should speak to your elders? Xiao Shiyu, are you treating me as a junior? Is there anyone who would push a junior into a fire pit? Although Qing Chun is talented, don't you know what kind of person he is? How many heavenly beauties had been harmed by him? You actually want me to marry such a person? If you aren't trying to kill me, what are you trying to do? You don't even treat me as a junior of the Shao clan, so why should I treat you as an elder? If you want to join hands with the Qing clan, then marry your daughter over. Don't even think about me." A cold voice resounded, infuriating the middle-aged man. His face turned cold, and the surrounding people also looked awkward. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. He did not expect Xiao Shiyu to have such a problem. It seemed like the Shao clan and the Qing clan wanted to join hands. However, there had to be a marriage alliance, and this person was Xiao Shiyu. If Lin Xian did not know about it, then forget it. Now that he knew about it and had already promised Xiao Mu, he naturally would not let this matter continue. Chapter 4569. All right, all of you shut up. It's not appropriate to make a ruckus here. An old voice could be heard. A white crane descended from the sky with an old man on its back. The old man sat cross-legged. His eyes shone with a powerful soul. This person was terrifying. Lin Xian was shocked. The people around also exclaimed, "Greetings, third elder." Xiao Shiyu also said, Third elder, it's not that I don't want to follow the rules, but some people are too much. The third elder sighed. The Green Clan's power in Shanghai City has always been stronger than the Shao Clan. Don't forget, they are working with the Thousand Transformations Gate. For the past 1,000 years, they have been providing beasts to the Thousand Transformations Gate. The relationship between the two is extraordinary. Now that they have made such a request, we can only agree. If we resist, they might anger the Green Clan. If they want to take action, the Shao Clan will not be able to resist. Xiao Shiyu said coldly, "So you chose me? Have you asked for my opinion?" The third elder sighed. He said, "As a member of the Shao Clan, you have to think for the clan sometimes. However, we will give you a chance. If you can get into the top 10 in the Mountain Sea battles, we will not force you." "All right, since third elder said so, it's a deal. Just you wait, I will get into the top 10. Shiyu, you are too naive. Although you are the top genius of the Shao Clan, there are many beast tamers in the Mountain Sea battles. However, there were many beast tamers participating in the Mountain Sea beast fights. Not only were there geniuses, but there were also other experts. It is basically impossible for you to get into the top 10. Uncle, you don't have to worry about me," Xiao Shiyu said coldly. "I want to see how you can get into the top 10. The middle-aged man sneered and turned to leave. The third elder looked at Xiao Shiyu and sighed. He said, "You can bring helpers for the Mountain Sea battles. What kind of beast tamer do you need? I will use the clan's power to help you find one. You will be satisfied." They naturally hoped that Xiao Shiyu would shine in the Mountain Sea battles. That would be good for the Shao Clan. Xiao Shiyu said, "I have my own way." "Thank you, third elder, for your concern." The old man sighed again and shook his head. Then he left. Although she wanted to help Xiao Shiyu, no matter how hard she tried, it would be extremely difficult for her to get into the top 10. If it was the next time, perhaps Xiao Shiyu would have a chance. But this time, it was too difficult. It was impossible. The Green Clan would not give Xiao Shiyu another chance. Those elders had all left, and the back mountain was quiet again. Xiao Shiyu's face was cold, and she was clenching her teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Detestable. This was really too detestable. Were these people suppressing her like this? First, they suppressed her mother, and now they're suppressing her. However, she was unwilling to give up. She had to get into the top 10. That way, the Mountain Sea Palace would take a liking to her. At that time, she could join the Mountain Sea Palace. Even the Shao Clan and the Green Clan didn't dare to order him around. At this moment, Lin Xian walked up and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you enter the top 10. "Thank you." Xiao Shiyu was extremely grateful. "You don't have to thank me." Lin Xian shook his head. Then, he said in his heart, "If you want to thank someone, thank your father. Lin Gongzi, I'm very grateful to you. However, it's too difficult to get into the top 10. Even I don't have much confidence." Lin Xian said, "How do you know if you don't try? Fate is in your own hands. It doesn't belong to anyone else, and it doesn't belong to heaven and earth." Xiao Shiyu's body trembled. To be honest, she didn't have much confidence. However, looking at Lin Xian's confident gaze, she felt her soul tremble. What kind of strength and confidence was this? What had this young man experienced in the past? Taking a deep breath, Xiao Shiyu also said, "All right, whether I succeed or not, I'll give it my all. I won't let myself regret it." "That's right. This is the #1 genius of the Shao Clan." Lin Xian smiled. Then, he asked, "Oh right, what's the Green Clan? Is the Thousand Transformation sect very powerful?" There are many big clans in Shanghai City. They are considered the top clans. Their strength and foundation are even stronger than our Shao Clan. As for the Thousand Transformation sect, it's not in Shanghai City. It's a sect nearby. Its strength is extremely terrifying. For the past 1,000 years, all the beasts in the Thousand Transformation sect were taken care of by the Green Clan. Hence, the Green Clan has an extraordinary position in Shanghai City. Not only the Green Clan, but the other clans and sects also had connections. For example, the Shao Clan was also in charge of managing the beasts for a sect. After knowing the situation, Lin Xian nodded his head. He said, "Don't worry, I'll help you to the best of my ability." Next, the two of them started to train together. Xiao Shiyu had already decided to let Lin Xian be her helper. They would participate in the Mountain Sea Beast battles together. A month later, Xiao Shiyu was elated. During this month, the coordination between the two of them was getting better and better. One must know that she was using the hallucination song. Normal people would have to dodge it carefully before they could coordinate with her. However, the moment Lin Xian came up, he could perfectly merge with the hallucination song, which really surprised her. Naturally, she didn't know that Lin Xian had already cultivated the hallucination song in advance, which was why he could be so relaxed. On this day, Xiao Shiyu found Lin Xian and told him her thoughts. She was prepared to go out and suppress another beast and bring it back to control it. Of course, her target should be similar to the black fire demon ape. It might even be stronger. After all, he also wanted to break through to become a two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master. This way, he would have a greater chance. Lin Xian nodded and asked, "Are we still going to the 100,000 mountains?" Xiao Shiyu said, "No, I've already been targeted by the ice-fire swan. The moment I enter, he will be able to sense our aura. So this time, we're going to the sea." Shanghai City not only relied on the 100,000 mountains, but also the endless sea. There were even more beasts in the sea. This time, it was their destination. Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu left the mansion and prepared to set off. When they came outside, they happened to see two figures. It was Xiao Yunshu and Mr. Xiao Yao. At this moment, Mr. Xiao Yao was following beside Xiao Yunshu, looking very proud. It seemed like he had also become Xiao Yunshu's assistant. "Sister Shiyu." Xiao Yunshu saw Xiao Shiyu and ran over happily. However, when she saw Lin Xian, she was surprised. "Why are you still here?" In her opinion, this guy's strength shouldn't be too strong and definitely wouldn't be valued. She didn't expect him to be able to stay by Xiao Shiyu's side. Naturally, young Mr. Xiao Yao caught sight of this as well. Instantly, his heart was going crazy. Xiao Shiyu was an existence that even he looked up to. He didn't even dare to think about it. He didn't expect this despicable kid to stay by her side. "Sister Yunshu." Xiao Shiyu also walked up. Lin Xian glanced at him and directly ignored him. At the same time, Mr. Xiao Yao was also ignored by him. He didn't care about these two people. Chapter 4570. Mr. Xiao Yao gritted his teeth in anger. He did not expect Lin Gongzi to have such means. He laughed coldly. Lin Xian laughed. "I have means? I think your means should be even greater than mine. Aren't you pretty good at grafting flowers onto trees?" Mr. Xiao Yao's pupils shrank as cold sweat dripped down his forehead. It seemed like the other party had found out about him, secretly changing the demonic beast pouch. But why didn't he expose him directly? What did he mean by that? Yunshu frowned as well. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and did not say anything, because he believed that Mr. Xiao Yao's actions would be discovered very soon. Because he did not have the corresponding strength, but still wanted to put gold on his face. He would probably lose badly. "Sister Xiao Yu, where are you going this time?" Xiao Yunshu ignored Lin Xian and asked. Xiao Shiyu said that they were going to hunt some demonic beasts. "Really? I have the same idea too. Why don't we go together?" Xiao Yunshu was elated. "With the two of us working together, we will definitely gain a lot." "Sure." Xiao Shiyu nodded her head. Her relationship with Yunshu was pretty good. Hence, it was not a problem for them to work together. The two of them walked in front while Lin Xian and Mr. Xiao Yao followed behind. Young Mr. Xiao Yao was extremely nervous right now. He was extremely worried right now. He did not know when Lin Xian would reveal everything that he had done. Lin Xian did not mind at all. He had never treated Xiao Yao as an opponent. This time, he was looking forward to it. He was prepared to control some demonic beasts. After all, he would have to return to Ethereal Peak in the future. At that time, he would have to rely on these demonic beasts to deal with those grotto heavens and Ethereal Peak. Walking out of Shao Clan, they arrived at Shanghai City and walked towards the city gate. At this moment, a figure descended from the sky. A terrifying soul pressure shrouded the few of them. Xiao Yunshu and the rest stopped and frowned. Mr. Xiao Yao looked like he was facing a great enemy. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. What a strong soul power. It seemed like he was an expert. He raised his head and looked ahead. He realized that it was a blurry figure. The aura he was emitting swept across the entire area. Where did this expert come from? People of the Green Clan. Xiao Yunshu frowned. She noticed that the Taoist's eyes were incomparably mysterious, like two sharp blades. This was the eye of blade of the Green Clan. And to be able to cultivate to such a level, there was probably only one person in the younger generation. Qingchen, thinking of this, she coldly snorted, and the soul in her body was like a vast ocean, sweeping through the 9 heavens. Xiao Shiyu, who was at the side, frowned. Why did you stop us? The blurry figure at the front glanced at the group with a lightning-like gaze. His gaze then landed on Xiao Shiyu. She was indeed worthy of being called the beloved daughter of the heavens. She was indeed a peerless fairy. I'm here to inform you that after the Mountain Sea Beast trials, I will marry you. During this time, you'd better stay in the clan obediently and don't go anywhere. These words carried the meaning of an order. Xiao Shiyu's expression changed as she snorted coldly. Who do you think you are? How dare you order me around? Besides, do you really think this engagement can continue? I know that the Xiao clan has promised you something. As long as you can get into the top 10, you can resist. But unfortunately, with your strength, it's impossible for you to get into the top 10. So, I advise you not to put up any unnecessary resistance. Qingchen's voice was filled with confidence. To be able to follow me is an unparalleled honor for you. After speaking, he looked at Lin Xian and young Mr. Xiao Yao and said coldly, from today onwards, you're not allowed to have any other men by your side. Even if you're a battle servant, you're not allowed to. Change them all. After speaking, 2 extremely sharp beams of light shot out from his eyes, turning into 2 blades that slashed out. Young Mr. Xiao Yao could feel that his soul was about to be sliced into 2. This was the legendary Eye of Blade. That was way too scary. He retreated quickly, dodging the attack by a hair's breadth. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. His eyes were filled with a cold glint. At this moment, Xiao Shiyu struck. She waved her hand, and the sky was filled with purple violets that formed a sealing barrier, sealing the blades in the sky. She then said, don't you think that you're too arrogant? I'm arrogant because I have the right to be arrogant. This is a warning. The next time I see other men by your side, I'll kill them. I sent them to hell immediately. After speaking, he turned around and disappeared. The atmosphere turned silent for a moment. Xiao Shiyu's face was extremely solemn. She had to admit that this Qingchen was strong. His eye technique was unparalleled. Wherever his gaze passed, it could split apart everything. Xiao Yunshu, who was beside her, gritted her teeth. This fellow was too despicable. How could the family agree to such an engagement? Don't worry. No matter how the family agrees, I won't agree to it. Xiao Shiyu gritted her teeth. She then said, let's go. This time around, we must get more beasts. After saying that, she flew forward. Young Mr. Xiao Yao sent a voice transmission. Fairy Yunshu, should I continue to follow? He was really scared now. He did not know Xiao Shiyu. This was just a coincidence. So, he had to kill her. He did not dare to follow her anymore. Xiao Yunshu frowned. Why was this fella so afraid of death? He was even worse than this despicable kid beside her. She glanced at Lin Xian. Seeing that Lin Xian was calm, she followed. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth and said, if you're afraid of death, then leave. From now on, you don't have to be my assistant. After speaking, Xiao Yunshu also flew into the sky. Young Mr. Xiao Yao was stunned. However, he gritted his teeth and followed. This time, he would go. However, from now on, he would definitely avoid Xiao Shiyu whenever he saw her. This kind of proud daughter of heaven was not someone he could get close to. At the same time, he sneered, Lin Xian was definitely in danger. Lin Xian would be killed one day if he stayed by Xiao Shiyu's side. This way, his secret would not be discovered by anyone. The group of people flew quickly in Shanghai City. Finally, they left Shanghai City. Looking at the endless sea, they continued to fly. This sea was called the Black Sea. Its surface area was boundless, and it was even larger than a continent. Shanghai City only relied on a part of the ocean, but the monsters and beasts within were already terrifying beyond compare. No one knew how terrifying the depths of the Black Sea were. Legend had it that the monsters in the Black Sea were at the level of a great emperor. They were buried in the depths of the sea. However, the distance was too far. Not to mention them, even a great sage might not be able to fly there. When they reached the sea, Xiao Yunshu and Xiao Shiyu took out two demonic beasts. Xiao Yunshu took out a mouse. It had a pair of wings and was constantly flying. This was a spirit-seeking mouse. It could find powerful monsters. What Xiao Shiyu took out was a black bug with red spots on it. This was also a spirit beast that could find monsters. The two of them used the phantom melody to control the two monsters. They began to search the surrounding sea. Chapter 45-71. Lin Xian and young master Xiao Yao waited silently. At this moment, Lin Xian frowned and looked into the distance. He could not tell. Someone seemed to be coming. Young master Xiao Yao was stunned. This fellow must be joking. Why didn't I sense it? Xiao Yunshu stopped in front and frowned. What is this fella up to now? However, she soon saw a figure flying over from afar. Moreover, there were quite a number of them. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A total of 7 figures descended from the sky and landed on the sea. Their powerful aura suppressed the entire place. The one leading them was a late Saint King. Xiao Yunshu's face changed. Xiao Shiyu frowned as well. If such experts were to go against them, it would be troublesome to deal with them. Young Master Xiao Yao shouted coldly. We are from the Xiao clan. What are you guys doing? Leave now. He wanted to use the reputation of the Xiao clan to scare these people away. The man looked at young Master Xiao Yao and sneered. You guys are courting death. Is the Xiao clan that powerful? As he spoke, he took out the token in his hand. This is? Young Master Xiao Yao's eyes shrunk. Xiao Yunshu exclaimed. Myriad Transformation Sect. You guys are from the Myriad Transformation Sect. That's right. We are from the Myriad Transformation Sect. These 7 men are like gods and demons. Xiao Shiyu took a step forward. Terrifying souls appeared around her body. There were many violets blooming around her. They covered the entire place. She asked coldly, I wonder why the fellow Taoists from the Myriad Transformation Sect are looking for us? We are here to help someone. Young Master Qing Chun said that no other men are allowed around Fairy Shiyu. Seems like someone is courting death. As they spoke, their eyes were filled with killing intent. Young Master Xiao Yao's face changed and was filled with fear. Damn it. He did not expect the other party to take action so quickly. His original plan was to wait until he returned this time before fleeing. However, he did not expect the other party to come knocking on his door. Lin Xian frowned. Isn't this young Master Qing Chun a little too arrogant? He even wanted to get rid of them. Xiao Yunshu's face changed. Although she felt that young Master Xiao Yao was a coward, his strength and talent were not bad. Moreover, the Mountain Sea Coliseum would be arriving soon. She needed such talents. Therefore, he did not wish for the other party to die. She gritted her teeth and said, This is our Xiao clan's matter. Aren't you guys meddling too much? You're wrong. An expert from the Myriad Transformation Sect laughed. Fairy Wu, you will marry young Master Qing Chun sooner or later. Young Master Qing Chun has an unusual relationship with our Myriad Transformation Sect. In fact, he will soon become a member of our Myriad Transformations Gate. Therefore, this is also a matter of us Myriad Transformations. How can we not care? A cold smile appeared in the eyes of the Saint King Advanced Stage Leader. This time, young Master Qing Chun had promised to give him a late Saint King demonic beast as his mount after the mission was completed. This was a huge benefit, so how could he refuse? Moreover, to him, killing 2 sects was no different from killing 2 ants. Thus, he naturally agreed. You can try. Xiao Shiyu snorted coldly. She took out her jade flute and performed the melody of phantom sound. Suddenly, 3 demonic beasts appeared around her. The paper vine on their bodies formed an armor for defense. At the same time, a giant demonic ape flew out and roared. It was the black fire demonic ape that she had just tamed. The black fire demonic ape roared as soon as it appeared. Its terrifying aura shocked the heavens. Many people's expressions changed. What a terrifying demonic beast. Moreover, it was a middle Saint King. They did not expect Xiao Shiyu to be so talented. Xiao Yunshu also performed the Jade White Lion and other demonic beasts. They covered the sky. This was a beast tamer. They could summon a large number of demonic beasts in battle. They had an innate advantage. As expected, the people from the Myriad Transformation sect frowned. Especially the Black Fire demonic ape, it was a great threat to them. The leading expert from the Myriad Transformation sect said with a smile, "Don't worry, leave these demonic beasts to me. As for the few of you, go and kill these two people. I will bring their heads back to young Master Ching Chun." After he finished speaking, he waved his hand and the demonic beasts in front of him were all covered by the demonic beasts. The Black Fire demonic ape fought back. However, it was a late Saint King. Its strength was terrifying and could fight against these demonic beasts. The other four people from the Myriad Transformation sect rushed forward and attacked Lin Xian and young Master Xiao Yao. "Retreat quickly." Young Master Xiao Yao did not say anything. He took out the blazing divine eagle and flew away. Lin Xian wanted to attack at first. However, after thinking about it, he retreated as well. It was inconvenient to show off some of his strength in front of these people. It was better to wait until there was no one around. At that time, these four people would know what despair was. Lin Xian's figure flashed and chased after young Master Xiao Yao. Young Master Xiao Yao's face turned green. He roared crazily, "Damn brat, can't you run in another direction?" He was mad. If they ran separately, he would at most face two experts from the Myriad Transformation sect. But now, he had to face four of them. The pressure was multiplied. Lin Xian smiled. He appeared on the blazing divine eagle and said, "I'm here to help you." Young Master Xiao Yao was about to vomit blood. He could not wait to fight with the other party. However, he knew that now was not the time. He had to escape quickly. Hence, he quickly controlled the blazing divine eagle and turned into a streak of light. "Do you think you can escape?" Behind him, there were four people. They were extremely strong. One of them was a middle Saint King. The other three were early Saint Kings. The middle Saint King expert roared into the sky. His voice shook the 9 heavens as he cut off the escape route. His flaming body trembled and fell from the sky. There were already many cracks on his body. This was the difference in cultivation realms. Young Master Xiao Yao gritted his teeth. He said, "Damn it, I'm innocent. Let me go. It's this brat. He's the one who stayed by Fairy Xiao Yu's side." Young Master Xiao Yao pointed at Lin Xian and roared crazily. "Oh, is that so?" The middle Saint King expert blocked Lin Xian. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Since this was the case, he would make him suffer a fate worse than death. "But you? How dare you disobey the orders of young Master Qing Chen? You can go to hell as well." After saying that, he waved his hand. Two figures charged towards young Master Xiao Yao. He then looked at Lin Xian. He wanted to take action personally. "How dare you fight with young Master Qing Chen? Be a wise man in your next life." He had an aura that could swallow mountains and rivers. The huge hand stretched across the sky, covering the sky and the earth. It pressed down, causing the endless void to crack. Buzz. After a single strike, the void turned into nothingness. Ha ha ha. The people of Myriad Transformation sect laughed. The other party was too weak. If they wanted to kill him, they could do it with a wave of their hands. When young Master Xiao Yao saw this, his eyes turned red. He should have been happy that the other party was killed. However, he was not happy at all because he was the next one to die. Chapter 4572. Boom. Just at this moment, a figure walked out from the shattered void as a cold voice boomed out. "Is this all you've got? You're so weak that you can't even break through my defense." "What?" The Saint King middle stage expert was stunned. His eyes were like lightning as he stared ahead. "You didn't die." He was too shocked. The surrounding people were also shocked that Lin Fan could dodge the attack of a Saint King middle stage expert. "Good lad. You have some strength. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant. This time, you're definitely going to die." The Saint King middle stage expert attacked again. His palm was filled with boundless laws that seemed to be able to disintegrate everything. Lin Xian attacked as well. He clenched his fist and turned into a golden light that flew out to fight against the opponent's palm. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. The Saint King middle stage expert's eyes were wide open. He could feel his palm shattering. Although he had the 10,000 transformations sect's secret technique that could disintegrate everything, he couldn't disintegrate the opponent's power. Not only did his entire arm shatter, but his entire body also turned into a bloody mist and burst open. One punch, and his soul was destroyed. Blood rained down from the sky. The other 10,000 transformations sect members were stunned. Their faces were filled with fear. Dead. Was he killed by a single punch? Young Master Xiaoyao was so scared that he knelt on the ground. What kind of power was this? It was too heaven-defying. The pupils of the three people shrank, and their faces turned ugly. The three of them turned and ran. This person was too terrifying. They weren't his match even if they worked together. They should call for a Saint King late-stage expert to suppress him. The three figures flew out at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, they arrived at the horizon. However, in the next moment, their bodies were mercilessly torn apart. A sword light flashed and the three were cut in half. Then, their soul flames floated out and their souls turned into nothingness. In the blink of an eye, the four saints from the 10,000 transformation sect were all dead. Only Lin Xian and the kneeling Mr. Xiaoyao were left. Young Master Xiaoyao's face was filled with fear. This person was too strong. He had offended him before and even wanted to chase him out of the Xiao clan. Now, he was afraid. He said, Lin Gongzi, don't kill me. I'll do anything you want me to. Lin Xian Xiaoyao. Oh, she could do anything? Fine, you said it yourself. His heavenly secret divine eyes appeared in his eyes as he looked at the other party. Then, you will become my puppet. Young Mr. Xiaoyao's face turned ugly. His eyes shone with a sharp radiance as he tried to defend himself. He was not willing to become a puppet. However, how could he be a match for the celestial secret divine eyes? In a flash, his eye technique was broken. The pain in his soul caused him to howl madly. After a while, his gaze calmed down. He knelt on one knee and looked respectfully at Lin Xian, paying his respects to his lord. There was already an imprint in his soul. Lin Xian looked at this scene, and the corners of his mouth curled up as he nodded. Although he didn't like this guy, who knew when he would come in handy. That was why he had this fellow stay by Xiao Yunshu's side and assist her. Let's go. Lin Xian waved his hand and brought young Mr. Xiaoyao with him as he flew forward. The battle in front was still ongoing. The black fire demon ape stood tall. As it waved its fists, the entire sea split open. He was an opponent, a late-stage Saint King expert. Even if a few demonic beasts joined forces, they could only fight against him. They were already at a disadvantage. It was very dangerous. What should we do? Sister Xiao Shiyu. Xiao Yunshu's face turned ugly. She couldn't defeat the other party. Moreover, she didn't know if the other two had escaped. Xiao Shiyu was even more nervous. She didn't want anything to happen to Lin Xian. At that moment, two sounds of something breaking through the air could be heard from afar. They all turned their heads and were stunned. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect were also stunned. They realized that the two people who had escaped earlier had returned. The two of them were still alive. What was going on? They waited for a while and realized that their men had returned. The late-stage Saint King expert's face darkened. Where were our men? Your people have already fallen. Lin Xian smiled and said, how could it be? The people from Myriad Transformation Sect couldn't believe that two late-stage Saint Kings could defeat four of them. Impossible. Young Master Xiaoyao walked out and said, naturally, it wasn't us. I don't need to tell you how many demonic beasts there are in the sea. There was an extremely terrifying sea demon. The four of you were unlucky to have been eaten by him. Right now, young Mr. Xiaoyao was already Lin Xian's puppet. Therefore, no matter what he said or did, he would have to listen to Lin Xian's orders. Impossible. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect were shocked. How did the two of you escape? Lin Xian smiled coldly and didn't say anything. When he returned, he used his heavenly secret divine eyes to look for powerful demonic beasts. He found a powerful one. Moreover, he attacked that demonic beast. That demonic beast was already chasing him. However, his speed was faster. So, the demonic beast was behind him. Lin Xian didn't say anything. After a while, the sea in front of them suddenly split open. The endless sea surged and a terrifying aura filled the air. An octopus roared at the sky. It flew out. It was 10,000 meters high. It swept in all directions. This scene caused the people from Myriad Transformation Sect to change their expressions. Not good. A terrifying demonic beast. And in the sea, who knew how many subordinates the other party had? If thousands of demonic beasts were summoned to attack, it would be troublesome. After all, the sea was the other party's territory. Damn it. Just you wait. The people from Myriad Transformation Sect roared and turned to leave. That's great. Xiao Yunshu heaved a sigh of relief. Then, Xiao Shiyu also said, okay, let's go. As they retreated, they used the phantasmal melody to attack. Lin Xian said, don't leave. Don't you want to hunt demonic beasts? Just this one will do. What? This one? Xiao Yunshu's expression changed. This octopus was even more terrifying than the black fire demonic ape. How could they suppress it? Xiao Shiyu said, okay, let's try. Then, she rushed forward. She was crazy. Xiao Yunshu's face was pale. With her strength, she could only use soul attacks from afar. Lin Xian rushed over and fought with the octopus. His fist sent the octopus, which was over 10,000 meters long, flying. The octopus roared at the sky and summoned many demonic beasts to attack. A great battle broke out. With Lin Xian's help, the octopus was suppressed. Did they really do it? Xiao Yunshu didn't dare to believe it. Xiao Shiyu was happy. This was great. After she returned this time, she could control it. If she succeeded, she would be very close to becoming a two-soul beast tamer Saint Master. She might be able to break through before the competition. Once she broke through to become a two-soul beast tamer Saint Master, her confidence would be much higher. Xiao Shiyu, Xiao Yunshu, and the others were resting. Lin Xian said, I'll go to other places to take a look. You guys stay here first. With that, he took the demonic beast pouch and left. He came to the Black Sea to help Xiao Shiyu. Moreover, he wanted to control some demonic beasts for himself. Chapter 45-73. Lin Xian entered the Black Sea and continued to fly. He saw many demonic beasts, but he ignored them all. He was looking for something more terrifying than the Black Sea octopus. Just then, he heard a roar from below. It shook the 9 heavens. Even he was shocked. There was a terrifying being. His eyes lit up and he flew over. In the next moment, he saw a black figure appear at the bottom of the sea. Its aura was terrifying. It was the Blackwater mystical snake. Lin Xian was shocked. It was also a mutated beast. Once fully grown, it would be terrifying. It was a famous beast in the ancient times. He didn't expect to see it here. From what he saw, it should be very young. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile as he quickly struck out. The Blackwater mystical snake saw him too. He was only an early-stage Saint King, but he dared to attack him. A cold smile appeared in his eyes. He waved his tail. It was like a heavenly blade. Instantly, he mobilized the law of water around him and attacked. This power was really too strong. The Blackwater mystical snake wasn't a mutated beast. It was only an early-stage Saint King, but it could easily kill a mid-stage Saint King. Lin Xian slapped out. The 9 suns' divine fire burned and the seawater around him disappeared. The law of water was also resisted. He grabbed his opponent's tail. The Blackwater mystical snake roared. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He didn't expect his opponent to be so strong. His body moved as he continuously contended against the attack. Lin Xian clenched his fists and clashed with his opponent. Every strike was like thunder in the deep sea, shattering everything around him. The beasts at the bottom of the sea all prostrated themselves in fear. After hundreds of strikes, the Blackwater mystical snake retreated. Many of his scales had fallen off, and there were cracks on his body. Damn it! His physique was so strong, but at this moment, it was actually injured by the other party. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth. He roared. The law of water appeared on his body and circled him. His 1,000-meter-tall body quickly shrank until he was only about 1 meter tall. Although his body had shrunk, he was still able to reach a height of 1 meter. Although he was small, his power was even more terrifying. It helped him move faster. He turned into countless shadows and charged over. He was 10 times faster than before. How terrifying! Lin Xian was also astonished. With his power, even a middle-stage Saint King's body would have long since been torn apart. However, his opponent had only been wounded, and that was all. One could well imagine how powerful the other party's body was. It was even more terrifying than a saint artifact. Now that it was charging over at such a fast speed, it was truly like a sharp sword. Lin Xian stood where he was without moving. He pushed his divine body to its limits, and at the same time, his eyes kept moving. He could clearly track the snake's movements. What he wanted to do was to subdue the other party, not kill the other party, so he had to use his own methods. The Blackwater mystical serpent attacked rapidly. In a flash, millions of attacks landed on Lin Xian. The void around Lin Xian kept splitting apart, making clanging noises. The dark water mystical snake stepped back and sneered. Yi Fuyan was dead for sure. When he discovered that he couldn't break through his opponent's attack at all, he was stunned. He was furious and attacked again. Like a black demonic sword, it charged over. However, it was caught by Lin Xian. Lin Xian's lips curled up. His golden eyes looked at the other party, piercing into the Blackwater mystical snake's soul. The Blackwater mystical snake roared. Damn this guy. He was a beast tamer. He wanted to control him. What a joke. He would never allow himself to be controlled by an ant. He let out an angry roar. The power of his bloodline was limitless. All the beasts within thousands of miles all prostrated themselves. This was the suppression of his bloodline. Above the sea, the Black Sea octopus's 10,000-meter-long body also trembled. What happened? Xiao Yunshu was shocked. Did a top-level beast appear? Xiao Shiyu also frowned. What a terrifying bloodline suppression. It must be a mutant of the world, and an extremely terrifying existence. She wondered where Lin Gongzi was. Would he be in danger? When such a beast came out, everyone would retreat. Could Lin Xian have encountered one at this moment? She even wanted to go and look for him. However, at this moment, young Master Xiaoyao said, "Don't worry. Don't worry. Lin Gongzi is fine." Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu were both startled by these words. She knew that young Master Xiaoyao had been suppressing Lin Xian before. Why was he speaking up for him now? It seemed that something must have happened between the two of them, but she didn't know what it was exactly. The Blackwater mystical snake's bloodline suppression was extremely terrifying. He wanted to use it to suppress Yi Xian. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Lin Xian was unmoved. The golden light in his eyes became even more terrifying. At the same time, Lin Xian also let out a dragon's roar. It shook the sky. It was even more terrifying than the bloodline suppression from before. The Blackwater mystical snake was completely stunned. His opponent's bloodline was even higher than his. The roar terrified him from the bottom of his soul. At this moment, thousands of beasts roared as if they were worshipping their king. Some of the weaker ones even cracked and turned into blood mist. The octopus on the sea almost fainted. Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu were also shocked. The roar was even more terrifying than before. Could it be that two top-tier beasts were fighting? It was hard to imagine. After the dragon's roar, the Blackwater mystical snake was completely terrified. Lin Xian, on the other hand, unleashed the power of the heavenly secret divine eyes and controlled the snake. Lin Xian let go. The Blackwater mystical snake floated there. "Greetings, Master." He also spoke. His voice was very young, and it was a woman's voice. "Very well, you can live in the sea for now. When I need you, I will summon you. During this time, try to recruit as many subordinates as possible." Lin Xian gave the order. The Blackwater mystical snake nodded and left. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He did not need the snake now, but once he left this place, when he returned to the Misty Peak, the snake would become a sharp sword for him. He did not expect a Blackwater mystical snake to be so troublesome. Lin Xian saw that it had been a long time. He was afraid that Xiao Shiyu and the others would come to find him. And the two roars just now definitely attracted their attention. Lin Xian did not recruit any more beasts. He turned and left. On the sea, Xiao Shiyu was extremely nervous. It had been a long time, and Lin Gongzi was still not back. I'm going to look for him, Xiao Shiyu said. No, there must be top-tier beasts fighting just now. It will be very dangerous for us to go there. And don't worry, that guy is a coward. I bet he won't dare to go there. Xiao Yunshu said. Is that so? Then where should I go? At this moment, a voice was heard. Then, a figure flew out from the sea. Lin Gongzi, you're back. Xiao Shiyu was overjoyed. Xiao Yunshu was shocked. Damn kid, you're fine. Chapter 4574. Next, the group continued to move out and captured a few more beasts before leaving. After returning, Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu separated. They each went into seclusion to prepare to control these beasts. Xiao Shiyu went back and prepared to control the Black Sea octopus with all her might. This was an even more terrifying existence than the black fire demon ape. Lin Xian said there was no hurry. Let's adjust to the peak state first, and then prepare to make a move. Xiao Shiyu nodded. She now believed in Lin Xian unconditionally. Taking a deep breath, her eyes shone with a cold light as she began to cultivate. Finally, she adjusted her body to the peak state. She stood up and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "It's the same as before. I'll help you." Xiao Shiyu nodded. "Thank you. Recently, I've also made a breakthrough in the phantom sound. I'll definitely succeed this time." The two of them began to make a move. On the other side, Xiao Yunshu also went into seclusion after returning. She was also extremely nervous. This time, she was going to try to control a beast. This was an electric eel. It was very terrifying. Although it was only 2 meters long, it was surrounded by lightning that could pierce through the 9 heavens. Moreover, this was an existence that had reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Although it had just reached that stage, its aura was incomparably terrifying. Xiao Yunshu's eyes shone with a cold light. This time, she must succeed. This way, she could become a one-soul beast tamer saint. This was an identity that she dreamed of. "Xiao Yao, please help me with all your strength," Xiao Yunshu said in a deep voice. She knew that these sects of his were all here to pursue her, especially this young master Xiao Yao. Previously, he was all kinds of solicitous and caring for her. Although she hated it, she had to rely on his strength. Especially this time. Young Master Xiao Yao nodded and said respectfully, "Fairy Yunshu, don't worry. I will help you with all my strength." After saying that, he stood there and began to make preparations. Xiao Yunshu was surprised. That's not right. He's completely different from the previous young master Xiao Yao. This made her puzzled. She remembered that ever since young master Xiao Yao was chased back, he had changed. He was completely different from before. This made her very puzzled. What happened before? This guy came back with Lin Xian. Could it be that something happened in between? When she thought of Lin Xian, Xiao Yunshu clenched her teeth. That damned bastard. He was so strong. If he could help her, then she would have died. She would definitely be able to become a one-soul beast-controlling sacred expert. However, it was a pity that this fellow completely ignored her, which made her feel a sense of defeat. "No, I have to calm down. Xiao Yunshu, calm down." One day later, she was ready to make her move. Endless great Tao surged from the electric eel in front. This voice. Could it be that she has subdued an even more powerful demonic beast? That's right, I can feel it. The power of this demonic beast is even more terrifying than the black fire demon ape. Let's go and take a look. Countless elders soared into the sky. The young disciples of the Shao clan were also stunned. No way. How long has it been? Could it be that Xiao Shiyu's strength has become stronger again? As expected of the number 1 Sky Pride, this is the aura of the Black Sea octopus. Xiao Yunshu could naturally sense it too. He also followed along. At the back of the mountain, the huge Black Sea octopus slowly shrunk until it was the size of an apple. It flew onto Xiao Shiyu's palm. "This is great. I finally succeeded." Xiao Shiyu was also happy. "This is great. I finally subdued it again." Of course, all of this was thanks to Lin Xian. Before she could even thank him, countless people appeared in her residence. There were young disciples and elders. Even in the palace in the distance, a woman flew over. A woman also flew over, her face filled with excitement. Shiyu, did you really succeed? That person was Shiyu's mother. When Shiyu saw her, she also flew over. Mother, I did it. This is great. This is great. The woman was extremely happy, and her face was full of tears. Ever since her father disappeared, she had been suppressed by her family. Fortunately, her talent was very high, and she finally became an elder. And now, her daughter showed that she was more talented than her. This made her really happy. Chapter 45-75. The third elder from before also came. He looked at the middle-aged woman and said with a smile, "Seventh elder, you really have a good daughter." Then, he looked at Xiao Shiyu and said, "Shiyu, if you have any requests, just say it. The family will definitely satisfy you." That was great. He didn't expect Xiao Shiyu's talent to be so good. To the Xiao clan, this was simply an extremely good thing. In the sky, a middle-aged man, who was Xiao Shiyu's uncle, looked even colder. First it was Xiao Yunshu, now it's Xiao Shiyu. Damn it. Xiao Shiyu turned to look at the third elder and said, "Thank you, third elder. But I don't need anything. I feel good now." With Lin Xian's help, she really didn't need anything else. Everyone congratulated him for a while before leaving. At this time, Xiao Yunshu also walked over and said with a smile, "Sister Shiyu, congratulations." To be honest, she was still a little depressed. Because she had just broken through and became a one-soul beast taming Saint Master, which brought her great joy. In her opinion, she was not inferior to Xiao Shiyu. She might even be able to surpass her in the future. But she didn't expect that just as she broke through, the other party also broke through and was still one realm ahead of her. This made her know that it would be difficult for her to catch up with this sister. However, her relationship with Xiao Shiyu had always been very good, so Xiao Shiyu broke through. She was naturally happy. "Thank you, Sister Yunshu. You have also broken through to the beast-taming Saint Master. I think you will definitely shine during the Mountain Sea Beast battles." The two of them chatted for a while. Then, Xiao Shiyu prepared to leave. Not long after, she heard Xiao Shiyu say behind her, "Lin Gongzi, thank you very much this time. I am going to give you the Black Fire Demon Ape and let it become your mount." "What?" Xiao Yunshu didn't continue walking. She stopped and turned her head. "Sister Shiyu, how can you give such a precious demonic beast to him? This kid didn't say anything to you again, right?" After saying that, she glared fiercely at Lin Xian. "You brat, are you up to something again?" One had to know that the Black Fire Demon Ape was a demonic beast even more terrifying than her deep-sea electric eel. Countless people's eyes were red with envy. Now, were they going to give him a sect? Lin Xian didn't want it at first because it wasn't of much use to him. However, when he saw Yunshu's expression, he smiled. If he said yes, then I won't stand on ceremony. Then, he looked at Yunshu. "What, do you have a problem with that?" "Unfortunately, it's useless even if you have opinions." Yunshu was so angry that she was about to vomit blood. Her face was pale. Damn it. She really wanted to bite him. No, she was crazy. She felt that she would faint from anger if she stayed any longer. Xiao Yunshu quickly left. She truly did not understand why Xiao Shiyu would treat this guy so well. Xiao Shiyu smiled. Xiao Yunshu said, "Sister Shiyu, let's go." Then, the two of them walked forward. The square was bustling with noise. Today, other than those who were out on missions or in seclusion, everyone else from the Xiao clan was here. They were all gathered here. It was a huge crowd. This was a big event for the Xiao clan. Not only were the young ones here, even the elders were here. Among them were the 10 elders. They were the judges for this event. "Look, Fairy Yunshu is here. Fairy Shiyu is here too." Someone exclaimed. Countless disciples of the Xiao clan turned their heads to look in the direction of the voice. The next moment, their eyes widened. They were simply way too beautiful. The crowd consciously opened up a path for the two peerless fairies to walk through. Faced with countless envious gazes, the two of them were calm. These gazes had been with them since they were young. They would be with them in the future as well. When they arrived at the square, The two of them separated and each took a spot. Lin Xian and young Mr. Xiao Yao followed behind. Lin Xian took a step forward and stood beside Xiao Shiyu, causing countless people to exclaim, "Who was this man? What rights did he have to stand beside Fairy Shiyu?" That's right. Where did he get the rights from? Many people gritted their teeth. Someone asked, could he be Fairy Shiyu's disciple? The moment those words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. Didn't they say that Xiao Shiyu didn't have a disciple? Why was he here? Let alone them. Even the elders were stunned as their gazes landed on Lin Xian. Chapter 4576. Third Elder was also surprised. He looked at Lin Xian curiously. He had an impression of this person. He seemed to have seen him once before when Xiao Yu subdued the black fire demonic ape. The other time was when she subdued the deep-sea octopus. This guy was there both times. Could it be that he had something to do with it? Was he Xiao Yu's assistant? The others were also surprised. Eldest uncle walked up and sneered. Xiao Yu, don't tell me that this is the assistant you found. Yes, that's right. Lin Gongzi is my assistant. He will participate in the mountain sea trials with me. Xiao Shiyu said loudly. As soon as she said that, the surrounding people were stunned. What? Is that really the case? How could this guy be so lucky? That's right. Who is he? Why haven't I seen him before? Oh, I remember now. It's that guy. He blocked 100,000 flying swords during the test and even said that he was here to look for Xiao Shiyu. At that time, many people sneered and mocked him. They didn't expect him to really do it. So what if he blocked 100,000 flying swords? The mountain sea trials isn't child's play. Besides, he's Xiao Yu's assistant. Eldest uncle said coldly, Xiao Yu, the mountain sea trials isn't your own business. It also represents the glory of the Xiao family. I can't believe you. Get someone else. This kid isn't qualified. That's right. Kid, leave quickly. It should be me. Many people around gritted their teeth. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He looked at the middle-aged man and sneered. You're such a busybody. Are you the leader of the Xiao family? Are you a core elder? You're nothing. Do you have the right to speak here? You're courting death. Eldest uncle was furious. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to break. Damn kid, you're just a small family. How dare you lecture me? Do you have the right to speak? If I say he does, he does. Xiao Shiyu also stood up. The atmosphere between the two parties was a little tense. At this moment, the three elders said, Everyone, be quiet. How improper. Eldest uncle snorted and retreated. Xiao Shiyu didn't say anything. The eyes of the seventh elder, who was the middle-aged woman, flickered. Although she did not know why she would allow such an unfamiliar young man to come, she still believed in Lu Yu unconditionally. Next, the third elder said that all those who were preparing to participate in the mountain sea trials should come forward to sign up. Soon, dozens of figures walked out. There were indeed quite a number of people. One could imagine how many geniuses there were in the Xiao clan. However, it was clear that it was impossible for so many people to participate in the competition. The third elder said that those who were unable to control Saint King-level demonic beasts were to leave. As soon as these words were spoken, half of the people immediately retreated. They looked unwilling, but they really didn't have the strength to do so. There were still a dozen or so figures left. The third elder said in a clear voice, Then, let's proceed to the second test. Take the tiger demon heavenly thunder drum. Two Saint Kings carried a large drum and walked over. Even the void kept shaking. This was a terrifying sacred weapon. The moment it appeared, it brought with it an extremely strong soul suppression. The expressions of the surrounding people turned grave. They retreated one after another. The other elders formed seals with their palms and formed a protective array around the square, enveloping the participants. The third elder looked around and said, Next, I will activate the Tiger Demon Sky Drum. Those who can withstand 3 attacks can stay and participate in the test. Those who fail will withdraw. After saying that, he slapped his palm on the drum. A terrifying sound of thunder rang out, accompanied by the sound of a tiger's roar that swept out in all directions. This was an extremely strong soul power. Many people in the surroundings instantly felt the suppression. A few figures retreated, vomiting blood and looking pale. Lin Xian was also surprised. This drum was not ordinary. It was obviously made with the skin and bones of demonic beasts. It was extremely terrifying. Only those with extremely powerful souls would be able to withstand it. Among the dozen or so figures, some of them could not withstand it. They were all injured and were rescued by the elders. There were still some people left. These people were all trying their best to resist. Some of them used terrifying soul powers. Some of them directly used the hallucinatory melody to resist. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. His eyes shone with a golden light, forming a protective array to resist the sound. Although it was terrifying, it was not a threat to him. A second sound rang out. These people's faces turned even paler. Many of them even retreated. Another voice rang out, and immediately, another figure was sent flying while coughing up blood and fainting. Then, the third elder withdrew his palm and said with a smile, "Very good. You have all successfully passed. You can participate in the next Mountain Sea trials." "Great," Xiao Yunshu smiled. Xiao Shiyu's lips curled into a smile. Lin Xian looked around and found that other than the helpers, there were 5 disciples of the Xiao clan who had successfully passed. The 4 of them smiled, but one of them had an ugly expression. It was a man. At this moment, he shook his head and sighed. Although he blocked it, he fainted when he found the gate. Moreover, he was injured. How could he participate in the competition? Shaking his head, he could only give up helplessly. Without an assistant, his strength would not be able to get a good ranking. In this way, only 4 groups of people participated. Each group had an assistant to cooperate with them. Among them, other than Xiao Shiyu and Xiao Yunshu, the other 2 disciples of the Xiao clan were a woman and a man. Chapter 4577. Countless people gathered towards the Mountain Sea Palace. There was a large hall inside the Mountain Sea Palace. It was extremely spacious and could accommodate anyone who wanted to enter. At this moment, there were several figures standing in the hall. The soul auras of these figures were abnormally huge. There were terrifying demonic beasts crawling beside them. These people were wearing Taoist robes with an eye embroidered on their sleeves. It was extremely mysterious. There were different Qingquans shining in the eye. According to the number, these people's identities were different. For example, a one-soul beast tamer Saint Master had a rune in his eye. At this moment, the people here were all elders of the Mountain Sea Palace. They were extremely powerful. Many of them had 5 runes on their sleeves. This meant that they were 5-soul beast tamer Saint Masters. There was even a person with 6 runes waving in the eye on his sleeve. His identity was even more terrifying. Apart from them, there was also a young man standing there. This young man was extremely handsome and had a tall and straight figure. If Lin Xian and the others were here, they would definitely be shocked. This was because they knew this person. It was the number 1 genius of the Green Clan, Qing Chen. At this moment, Qing Chen was standing in front of an elder. That elder was sitting on a black tortoise. The soul on his body was abnormally terrifying. There were 5 runes in the eye on his sleeve, indicating that he was a 5-soul beast tamer Saint Master. "Greetings, Master." Qing Chen bowed respectfully to the elder on the black tortoise. The black tortoise elder smiled. "Chen, you don't have to be so polite. Let me see how strong you have been recently." He glanced at Qing Chen and then smiled. "Not bad. It seems like you are already an extremely powerful existence among the 2-soul beast tamer Saint Masters. After this Mountain Sea tournament, come to the Mountain Sea Palace to cultivate with me. I guarantee that you will become a 3-soul beast tamer Saint Master in the shortest time possible." Hearing this, Qing Chen's eyes lit up. He smiled and said, "Thank you, Master. You don't have to thank me. You are very young, and your future achievements are limitless. Moreover, your talent is very good. It is my fortune to be able to teach you." Another elder smiled and said, "Elder Xian, I'm afraid it is not possible for you to take away your disciple so quickly. I heard that this little guy is going to marry a proud daughter of heaven immediately after the Mountain Sea tournament. Is that so?" The old man from the black tortoise was also surprised as he looked at Qing Chen. Qing Chun smiled. There was indeed such a thing. I want to marry Xiao Shiyu of the Xiao clan, so it was that little brat. Elder Xian Gui nodded and smiled. Her talent was not bad and she was a genius. She was indeed worthy of you. However, I've heard that it's unlikely for her to get into the top 10. Don't worry, Chinair. With your strength, defeating her is not a problem. Thank you for your praise, Shirzuan. In the distance, the people from the Green Clan also smiled. This was great. The Mountain Sea trials hadn't even started yet, but their number one genius had already obtained the approval of the Mountain Sea Palace's elder and had successfully become his disciple. This was great news for them. As for the Xiao clan's battle, what a joke. No matter how strong Xiao Shiyu was, she wouldn't be a match for Qing Chen. Therefore, there were no surprises in this engagement. After marrying Xiao Shiyu, they would think of a way to swallow up the Xiao clan. At that time, no one would be their match. Just as he was thinking about it, another person walked over from afar. These people were also riding on strange beasts, and their auras were extremely frightening. The people from the Green Clan turned around and smiled. They had come at the right time. The leader of the Green Clan went up with a smile. So it was the leader of the Xiao clan. Long time no see. How are you now? The people who came were from the Xiao clan. The leader was also a middle-aged man with an extremely frightening aura. He was also the leader of the Xiao clan. Greetings, Daoist Qing. The leader of the Xiao clan returned the greeting. Then, these older people walked forward. It seemed that they had something to talk about. Only the younger generation were left. The younger disciples of the Xiao clan looked around curiously. Those who came were the participants of the test. As for those who came to watch the competition, they were still behind. The competition would be held here later. Xiao Yunshu looked around with a face full of excitement. Soon, the great hall would be filled with people. Countless experts and saints would be watching the battle, and they would be competing here. If they succeeded, they would soar into the sky and become famous. They might even be chosen by the Mountain Sea Palace as a disciple. This was an unparalleled honor. In front, the people from the Green Clan walked over. The leader was Qing Chen. Qing Chen looked at Xiao Shiyu and smiled. Xiao Shiyu, I will marry you very soon. Xiao Shiyu snorted coldly. I have said that you have no hope. Shiyu, do you really think that you can get into the top 10? It is impossible for you. Qing Chen shook his head. She was not qualified. At the same time, he frowned. He realized that there was a figure following beside Xiao Shiyu. It seemed to be Xiao Shiyu's assistant. What surprised him was that the assistant was a man. Moreover, it was the person he met previously. Suddenly, his face darkened. Didn't I say that you are not allowed to have other people around you? Kid, do you want to die? He stared at Lin Xian. Suddenly, a terrifying soul energy exploded. The surrounding people were shocked. They didn't know what had made Qing Chun so angry. The people from the Xiao clan were also on guard. Xiao Shiyu's face darkened. She said coldly, "What do you want? Do you want to fight here? Let me warn you. Don't forget where you are." Lin Xian frowned. This was the third time that this guy had targeted him. He even sent people to kill him. Did he really think that he was a pushover? A cold light flashed in Tali's eyes. "Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish." As he said that, he walked up to Qing Chen. The surrounding people were shocked. Who was this kid? How dare he go against Qing Chen? Did he want to die? The people from the Green Clan sneered. Xiao Shiyu stopped Lin Xian and said, "This is the territory of the Mountain Sea Palace. We have to abide by the rules. We can't fight here." Lin Xian nodded. "Okay, I will let him live a little longer. After the Mountain Sea trials, it will be his death." "Damn kid, this is what I want to say to you." Qing Chun snorted coldly. His eyes were filled with killing intent. No one had ever dared to challenge him. Moreover, he was now a member of the Mountain Sea Summit. He had become a disciple of the Mountain Sea Palace's elder. His status was much higher than Xiao Shiyu's. Not to mention, he was just a mere disciple. It would be a piece of cake for him to kill Qing Chen. "Xiao Shiyu, it was not a wise choice for you to find such a guy. I advise you to tell him to get lost. Otherwise, he might implicate the entire Xiao clan. Also, you are mine. No one can change that." Qing Chun snorted coldly. His eyes were filled with confidence and dominance. The people from the Xiao clan were on high alert. They had no choice. The other party was too strong. Even Xiao Shiyu looked solemn. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was stunned. Where did he get his confidence from? You? Fortunately, we can't fight here. Otherwise, you would have been a dead man by now. I'll give you a chance. Start running now. After the mountain sea trials ends, run as far as you can. This way, you can live a little longer. Otherwise, once the mountain sea trials ends, it will be your death. Lin Xian was also determined to kill. Chapter 4578. Alright, let's not bother about this guy. Let's go. Xiao Shiyu was afraid that the two of them would fight, so she pulled Lin Xian and left. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all stupefied, especially the people from the Green Clan. They couldn't believe it. Wasn't this the person that their genius had taken a fancy to? She was actually with someone else. It was unbelievable. Qing Qin's face turned green in an instant. He was about to go crazy from anger. The elders in the distance also saw it. The Green Clan Grand Elder's face darkened. The Green Clan leader even said, "Fellow cultivators from the Xiao clan, what's going on? I hope you can give us an explanation." The faces of the people from the Xiao clan turned ugly. The Xiao clan leader frowned. What's going on? The three elders sighed. Xiao Shiyu is too young. We will educate her when we get back. The seventh elder sneered. Who are you to educate my daughter? What did my daughter do wrong? Moreover, who agreed to it? I didn't agree. My daughter also didn't agree to the marriage. Hearing this, the Xiao clan leader's face turned even uglier. Drizzle's uncle's lips curled up into a cold smile. Great. It seems like we have angered the Qing clan. They will kill this kid next. Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu walked away, leaving behind the furious Qing Chen. He swore that he would kill that kid and make Xiao Shiyu regret it. When he shone in the mountain sea beast fighting competition, he would make these two kneel at his feet. At this moment, another person walked over. His appearance attracted the attention of the others. Instantly, many people exclaimed. They forgot about what happened before and stared at that person, discussing. That person should be Mu Linfeng. So handsome. That's right, it's him. Many people's eyes lit up. He was also a top genius. Moreover, he had reached the two-spirit beast tamer Saint Master level. He was a genius on the same level as Qing Chen. As expected, even the people from the Green Clan looked solemn. Although their family's number one genius was famous in Shanghai City, there were three people who could be on the same level as Qing Chen. One of them was Mu Linfeng, the other two were Gu Yu and Han Qiu. They were all top geniuses. The people of the Xiao clan looked at Mu Lingfeng with envy. How good would it be if the Xiao clan had such a top-notch genius? Although Xiao Shiyu was also an incredible genius, compared to these few people, she was still a little lacking. On the other side, Xiao Shiyu was whispering to Lin Xian. Lin Xian also looked at Mu Lingfeng. Indeed, he could feel an extremely powerful soul aura from Mu Lingfeng. One had to say that Shanghai City had many beast-taming geniuses. Mu Linfeng's eyes were also very mysterious. He must have mastered some kind of powerful eye technique. Things were getting more and more interesting. He wondered how strong the other two top experts were. At the same time, he also understood why Xiao Shiyu was so worried. It would not be easy to get into the top 10 among such people. This was because these were only the geniuses on the surface. There were still some hidden geniuses who might soar into the sky. In addition, there were some people from other clans whose strength was not weaker than Xiao Shiyu's. It would be extremely difficult for him to fight his way out of this place. However, Lin Xian was confident that with his help, they would be able to sweep through everything. Who were those people? Lin Xian was surprised. He was not paying attention to the younger generation, but to the few elders whose aura was abnormally terrifying. Even he felt a chill down his spine. Xiao Shiyu also looked over and said, they were from Shanghai Palace, and they were elders of Shanghai Palace. They should be five-spirit beast taming Saint Masters. They could control late-stage Saint King beasts. They could even control peak Saint King beasts. Their strength was terrifying. Shanghai Palace? It was indeed worthy of its reputation. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. At the same time, The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also frowned slightly as they looked in their direction. What was going on? The Green Clan was surprised. The elder frowned slightly. His sharp eyes flashed. It seemed that an eye technique expert had arrived. However, he did not know where he was hiding. The other elders of Shanghai Palace were also surprised. They did feel an extremely shocking soul power just now. This time, it was really interesting. They hoped to meet some interesting dark horses. Then, the other beast-taming clans arrived one after another. They bowed to each other and then greeted the people of Shanghai Palace. At this moment, more powerful people arrived. Their auras were incomparably terrifying, and their laws were overflowing. They were not beast tamers, but other terrifying laws. Obviously, they were not beast tamer clans, but other sections. Countless people were surprised. Xiao Shiyu's pupils shrank. She said that they were from Wanhua clan. Lin Xian looked over carefully. As expected, they felt a familiar aura from them. It was said that Wanhua clan practiced the Wanhua divine technique. It was a very magical, unique technique that could break down any power. This technique made people despair. Lin Xian had seen it before. It was indeed magical. Besides Wanhua clan, some of the big sects around Shanghai Palace also came. They were here to watch the Shanghai beast fights. Every Shanghai beast fight was a ranking of the beast tamer clans in Shanghai City. They had close cooperation with these beast tamer clans. Naturally, they were very concerned. Not long after, another exclamation was heard. A woman walked over. This woman had a fierce aura. She was one of the top geniuses. Her name was Hanqiu. Her appearance also attracted a lot of attention. Speaking of which, Hanqiu's reputation was even above Xiao Shiyu's. 3 top geniuses had already appeared. There was still Gu Yu. Was he not here yet? Countless people were surprised. At this moment, a voice came from afar. Gu Yu walked over. He was wearing a black robe. He was like a ghost. It was very strange. He was very fast. Not only that, everyone was shocked to find that there was a pair of eyes embroidered on his sleeve. It was very strange. And there were 3 runes in the eyes. 3 soul beast tamer master. God, how was this possible? The surrounding people were all stunned. Even those geniuses were surprised. Xiao Shiyu's pupils shrank. 3 soul beast tamer master was too strong. He was even more terrifying than Qing Chen. One had to know that Qing Chen was only a 2 soul beast tamer master. In his opinion, no one in the younger generation could become a 3 soul beast tamer master, but the other party did it. It was over. Who would be a match for the other party in this Shanghai beast fights? Qing Chen's face also turned cold. He did not expect that the other party would break through before the fight. It was really despicable. He gritted his teeth. On the other side, Hanqiu's eyes were also shining. The people from the big sects around were also surprised. Many of them had already started to prepare. After the fight, they would immediately befriend this person. This was a top genius. If they could cooperate with him, their future achievements would be limitless. Chapter 4579. Those beast tamer clans were even more envious. At this moment, an elder of the Mountain Sea Palace walked out. He waved his hands, and thunder rumbled in all directions. The entire palace fell silent. Hundreds of millions of warriors looked forward. Elder 7 Spirits looked around. Then he smiled and said, "Welcome to the Mountain Sea Palace. I now announce the start of the Mountain Sea Beast Trials. All participants will enter the square in front." His words were very simple. After he finished speaking, many people walked up. At the same time, formations and enchantments appeared around them. They covered the entire square. Everyone else sucked in a deep breath. The people from those clans had also come. They were all watching, incomparably nervous. They wondered how far the geniuses of their clans could go. Elder 7 Spirits said, "You have 2 days for the first round of the competition. In 2 days, you will successfully subdue a sacred king-level beast. Those who complete the task within the specified time will advance to the next round. Otherwise, you will be eliminated. Now you have 30 minutes to prepare. The competition will begin in 30 minutes. As soon as he finished speaking, those people around took a deep breath. This was within their expectations. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn was up, a spatial crack opened above the square. Then, countless figures of demon beasts walked out. Each of them was extremely terrifying. They roared as soon as they appeared. Everyone found that these beasts were chained. Apparently, they were suppressed by the people of the Mountain Sea Palace. Those beast tamers who participated in the competition took a deep breath. They looked up and were about to choose a beast to suppress. At this moment, Elder Seven Spirits said, "The competition will begin now." As soon as he finished speaking, those chains of law in the sky kept collapsing. One beast after another rushed over. What was going on? Countless people were shocked. What was going on? They all looked at the Mountain Sea Palace. An elder of a clan said, "Is there something wrong with the formation and the chains?" The elder of the Mountain Sea Palace said with a smile, "There is nothing wrong. Everything is happening in the competition. This competition will not use chains to suppress the beasts. Instead, the beasts will be controlled while they are free to move." What? As soon as he finished speaking, those people around were all stunned. The difficulty had more than doubled. In fact, it had increased by several times. One had to know that normally, when they controlled demonic beasts, they would use array formations to seal them and use laws to suppress them. Then, he began to control it. Although it might not succeed, it wouldn't be too dangerous. But now, it was different. These demonic beasts had no restrictions. Once the control failed, it was very likely that he would be injured or even killed. Sure enough, the faces of the contestants inside the formation also turned ugly. Why didn't you tell us in advance? If they knew, they could have made such preparations in advance. The upper elder of the Mountain Sea Palace said loudly. Every true beast tamer had to go through hardships. Besides, the Mountain Sea Palace doesn't want good-for-nothings. If they can't even pass this test, they won't be qualified to be a top-level beast tamer. He was even less qualified to join the Mountain Sea Palace. If you're afraid of death, say it now. I'll give you a chance to leave. But from now on, you won't have any chance to enter the Mountain Sea Palace. A loud and clear voice rang out, and everyone in the square fell silent. They gritted their teeth. How could we give up? That is, we are the hope of our family, and we will not give up. These people had been through hundreds of battles. Although the situation was beyond their expectations, they would not give up just like that. Xiao Shiyu also looked serious. Lin Gongzi, you have to be very careful from now on. At this moment, a figure walked out from beside her. It was Qing Chun. Qing Chun said, "Shiyu, be careful. If you can't hold on, you can ask me for help. I won't let you get hurt." After saying that, he laughed heartily and walked forward. There was also a man beside him. The man's energy was also extremely terrifying. He was Qing Chen's assistant. Damn it, what an arrogant guy. Xiao Shiyu gritted her teeth, but she still looked forward. Those people around did not act rashly. They were all thinking about how to subdue that demonic beast. However, Qing Chun did not care at all. He rushed forward directly. In front of them, a demonic beast charged forward. Qing Chun sneered. "It's you. Do it." Then the man in black armor next to him formed a seal with his palms. Immediately, two mountains were formed and slammed forward. The two mountains were tens of thousands of feet tall. They tore through the sky. They suppressed the demonic beast in front of them. That godly eagle kept shaking, letting out crazy roars. Endless thunderbolts appeared on its body. The demonic beasts around were also furious. They wanted to rush over. At this moment, Qing Chun stepped forward. Endless blade light appeared in his eyes, and he slashed forward. The other demonic beasts were terrified. They felt the suppression of their souls. Even the contestants around turned pale. Eye of the blade. It was so terrifying. Many demonic beasts were scared away. Qing Chun walked down and looked at the godly thunderbolt hawk. He started to exert an eye technique. He was controlling it. It was so powerful. Countless beast tamers exclaimed. Then they all started to act. Someone took out a scroll and formed a space enchantment to trap the demonic beast. Someone also extended a soul hand to suppress everything. A terrifying energy erupted. Divine light flashed in the sky. Seeing the people around them, they were shocked. Lin Xian looked around. He first stared at Ching Chun. He had to admit that his opponent was indeed very strong, especially that eye technique. It was extremely sharp. The controlled thunderclap Godly Hawk let out a roar and kept shaking. Obviously, this was a very overbearing method of control. Even if it succeeded, the Godly Thunderbolt Hawk soul would be injured. Its power would be greatly reduced. Under normal circumstances, beast tamers would not do this, because it would cause the demonic beast to lose its strength. But now, Ching Chun did not care. In order to be the first to complete the task, he used such a harsh method. Besides him, the people around him also used various methods. Some used soul eye techniques. Some used sound attacks. Some used soul techniques. They really used all kinds of methods. It made people gasp in amazement. At this moment, many people were shocked, because they found that Gu Yu was also attacking. He was alone and did not need any help. He formed a seal with his palms. Endless Laws formed a space enchantment. It directly enveloped a rainbow butterfly. Then he threw out a ball of soul flame and started to burn the butterfly's soul. The rainbow-colored butterfly frantically tried to defend itself, letting out a terrified roar. It looked like it could not hold on at all. Too strong. As expected of a three-soul beast tamer Saint Master, there was no problem in controlling such a demonic beast. He could do it easily. Outside, the people from the other families were also discussing. The people of the Green Clan smiled. Apart from a few people who could pose a threat to Ching Chin, the rest of them were no match for him. This time, the top three would not be a problem. If they were lucky, they could even fight for first place. However, even though you're the #1 genius of the Shao clan, you're still lacking compared to my disciple. When he said this, his eyes were filled with pride. Is that so? How come I didn't see it? Elder Yin Luo laughed. Although she had a head full of white hair, her face was like that of a 20-year-old woman. It could be said to be very magical. She said, things had not reached the last step, so it was better not to jump to conclusions too early. If he could get into the top 10, perhaps there was no need to continue this engagement. Elder Yin Luo, it's not that I want to criticize you, but do you think highly of her? However, it was impossible for him to enter the top 10. Elder Black Tortoise snorted. Below, Xiao Shiyu still did not know that the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were fighting for her. At this moment, she took a deep breath, took out her jade flute, and began to perform the illusory sound song. What she wanted to subdue was an owl with 6 heads. It was a very strange and terrifying demonic beast. Lin Xian walked up and slapped the owl with his palm. His huge hand swept through the air and enveloped the 6-headed owl. The owl roared, and its 6 heads shot out fire, lightning, and hailstones. It was obvious that it was proficient in many laws. In front of the golden hand, everything was useless. It was directly suppressed to the ground. This scene caused many people to be surprised. This little guy's physique was not bad. He could actually withstand so many laws. It seemed like he was a body refinement expert. Discussions broke out one after another. The people of the Shao clan were also surprised. It seemed like they had underestimated Lin Xian. Ching Chen's eyes flickered. He had completed his task, so he stood aside and watched the battle. When he saw Lin Xian's strength, a glint appeared in his eyes. This person's physique was not ordinary. He asked the man in armor next to him, Black Armor, can you tell what kind of physique he has cultivated? Black Armor looked at him and frowned. He could not tell unless he attacked with his full strength. Forget it. Ching Chun shook his head. So what if he was strong? He could not be compared to him. If he wanted to kill him, he could use his demonic beast to tear him into pieces. Lin Xian suppressed the owl with 6 heads. Xiao Shiyu quickly moved, and the illusory sound song turned into an attack to control it. Now that she was a 2-soul beast tamer, it was not difficult for her to control the owl. As expected, she succeeded in a short while. The owl surrendered. Seeing this, the people of the Shao clan laughed. Great, Xiao Shiyu succeeded. Xiao Shiyu's uncle's face was cold. Soon, he also laughed because he found that his daughter, Xiao Yu, had also succeeded. There were 2 people left. They looked down. Xiao Yunshu was very serious. She had just broken through, and became a one-soul beast tamer. Now that she encountered such a situation, she was naturally nervous. At this moment, she was staring at an Arctic crocodile. The Arctic crocodile emitted a strong chill that froze the world. Beside her, Mr. Xiao Yao used 2 soul hands to suppress it, and she used the illusory sound song with all her might. In the meantime, she felt the chill and frost formed on her body, but in the end, she succeeded. The Arctic crocodile surrendered under her feet. That's great. She succeeded in passing. She turned to look and found that Xiao Shiyu had also completed. The two looked at each other and smiled. Xiao Shiyu said, "Sister Yunshu, do your best. Let's continue." Xiao Yunshu nodded. She looked at Lin Xian with shock in her eyes. She saw Lin Xian's attack earlier. She was surprised by his physique. It was stronger than she had imagined. Such a terrifying owl that knew 6 types of laws was suppressed by Lin Xian with a single slap. It could not resist at all. What kind of power was this? This despicable guy had been hiding his strength all this time. Sister Shiyu, you can do it. You can definitely enter the top 10. Xiao Yunshu took a deep breath. With Lin Xian's help, Xiao Shiyu's chances were very high. At this moment, a cold laugh was heard. Sister Yunshu, you are really ignorant. She has no chance. Even if there is a chance, it will be me. I am the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. Lin Xian heard this and turned to look. He saw a slender figure. It was Xiao Yu. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile. It seemed that there were indeed many people who overestimated themselves. Shaking his head, Lin Xian ignored the other party. Xiao Yu snorted. Kid, what kind of expression is that? Are you doubting me? Chapter 4581. Lin Xian said without turning his head, "You're not qualified to be our opponent. Let's go." He and Xiao Shiyu walked to the side. Xiao Yu gritted her teeth. Damn it, I'll prove it to him. I'm the strongest. A day passed by very quickly. All the demon beasts returned to the space crack with the sound of thunder and disappeared without a trace. Only those that were successfully subdued were still crawling at the feet of the crowd. Elder Qi Ling walked over and said, "Those who failed, please leave." Nearly half of the people left. They were very excited before coming, but now they had to leave dejectedly. They didn't expect that they couldn't even pass the first round. The people around were also surprised. Some of them were geniuses. They were usually very strong. They didn't expect that they would be defeated. Some elders shook their heads and sighed. It was different from when they were subdued. Usually, the environment was good, so they didn't have to worry. But now, they had to worry about the attacks of other beasts. Naturally, their efficiency was greatly reduced. It seemed that they didn't have enough training. Next, everyone had 30 minutes to recover. After 30 minutes, Elder Qi Ling walked over again. He said, "The second round of the competition will begin." This time, they had to subdue 3 beasts. Only the top 50 could successfully advance. The time limit was also 1 day. As soon as he said that, the people around went crazy. Although half of them were eliminated, there were still more than 300 people left. Now, more people would be eliminated. Only 50 people would succeed. Moreover, they had to subdue 2 or 3 beasts in 1 day. The difficulty had more than doubled compared to before. Many people's faces turned ugly. It was too difficult. It was more difficult than they imagined. Xiao Yunshu's face turned ugly. She had just become a one-soul beast tamer. With her strength, subduing 3 beasts wasn't a problem. But to do it in 1 day, she couldn't do it. Not to mention her, few people could do it. They didn't expect the second round to be so difficult. Xiao Yunshu sighed. It seemed that they could only fight with their backs against the wall. Xiao Shiyu also took a deep breath. This time, there might not be 50 people who could complete it. It seemed that they had to show their true strength. She looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. "Don't worry, I'll do my best to help you." Following the command, the 300 or so people who had succeeded once again attacked. The demonic beast cracks in the sky appeared, becoming incomparably terrifying. This time, there were even more of them than before. All of them were roaring at the sky. Just the terrifying aura alone was enough to make one feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Not to mention that they had to dodge the attack and control it at the same time. Moreover, they had to control 3 demonic beasts at the same time. Among them, a figure soared into the sky. A huge barrier sealed everything. His terrifying gaze turned into a blade, cutting everything. The crowd cried out in surprise. It was Ching Chun. He was really strong, like a god among the demonic beasts. Did you see that? Those demonic beasts saw him. They all backed down. Exclamations of surprise could be heard. His speed had increased by several times. He estimated that the time he could control the demonic beasts would be even shorter than before. It seemed that he had indeed not used his full strength before. Many people cried out in surprise. Elder Black Tortoise laughed. As expected of my disciple. Then, he looked at Xiao Shiyu and said, "It seems that the difference between the two of them is like heaven and earth. This Xiao Shiyu is not worthy of my disciple. What was he being so arrogant about?" No one could say for sure until the end. Elder Yin Luo snorted coldly. She could not stand the smug look on his face. She said, "I think this Xiao Shiyu is not bad. Why? Do you want to take him as your disciple? I advise you not to do so." Elder Black Tortoise sneered. Elder Yin Luo still wanted to say something, but at this time, there was a change in the square in front of them. A shocking roar sounded out, following which a terrifying power exploded out. 2 figures flew backwards, coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. There were more than 10 people around them who were also affected. Everyone looked over and sucked in a breath of cold air. It turned out that the demonic beasts were angry. The 2 of them looked terrible. They were seriously injured. They were controlling the demonic beasts earlier. They were too anxious and controlled 2 demonic beasts at the same time. The 2 demonic beasts were angry and attacked them, causing a tremor in the surroundings. The 2 of them were seriously injured, and the people around them were also affected. Xiao Yunshu was also affected. This time, she controlled a cheetah with 3 heads. It was abnormally terrifying. She carefully controlled it, but she did not expect the demonic beasts in front of her to roar. The 3 cheetahs in front of her were also angry. They attacked her with their claws. She quickly dodged. Although she was not injured, she was still affected. Moreover, the control effect from before had completely disappeared. It would be much more difficult to control them again. Damn it. Xiao Yunshu gritted her teeth. She did not have much confidence in the first place. After this incident, she had no chance at all. Thinking of this, she was so anxious that she was about to cry. In the distance, the people of Xiao clan saw this scene and shook their heads and sighed. The red-haired elder sighed. It was too difficult for Xiao Yunshu now. Lin Xian naturally saw this scene. His soul power was very strong. He had a panoramic view of the situation in the square. Chapter 4582. The others were shocked as well, including the people from the Xiao clan. This lad's physique was simply too strong. Even the eyes of the Mountain Sea Palace's elders lit up when they saw him. Elder Yin Luo nodded. Xiaoyu was lucky to find such a helper. She still had hope. Elder Xian Gui frowned. But soon, he stopped paying attention to it because his disciple had completed the task. The 3 demonic beasts were groveling at his feet. Ching Chun was looking down at everyone like a god. Great. Elder Xian Gui laughed happily. This time, Ching Chun was faster than Gu Yu. He was the first to complete the task, which attracted many people's attention. The leader of the Green Clan also laughed. Great. He was so happy. At this rate, he might be able to get the first place. Ching Chun stood there with a confident smile on his face. He glanced at Lone Moon and snorted. So what if Lone Moon was a 3-soul beast tamer? He had a strong helper who was not weaker than Lone Moon. Then, he looked at Xiao Shiyu. Seeing that Xiao Shiyu was still doing it, he snorted. Just wait and see. When he successfully ascended to first place, he wanted to see how these 2 people would be able to contend against him. As expected of young Master Qingchen, he was indeed powerful. The expert from the Myriad Transformation clan laughed. The people from other clans and sects congratulated Qingchen. Congratulations to the leader of the Green Clan for having such a good son. I think young Master Ching Chun will get the first place this time. Hearing the congratulations, the leader of the Green Clan laughed. The people of the Green Clan were also proud. Soon, roaring sounds came from the front. Guyu had also completed the task. Then it was Hanxiu, Mu Lingfeng, and a few others. They had all controlled 3 demonic beasts. Although they were a little behind, they were not too far behind. Their strength was almost the same. Until the end, no one would know how the rankings of these people would be decided. However, other than these few people, it was impossible for the others to complete the task, because these few people were much better than the others. The families of these few geniuses heaved a sigh of relief. Great. The people of the Shao clan looked solemn. Ching Chun and the others belonged to the first group. Xiao Shiyu was the #1 genius of the Shao family, but in the entire Shanghai city, she belonged to the second tier. At this moment, the competition was still ongoing. There shouldn't be a problem. The 7th elder looked at his daughter's serious expression and took a deep breath. The others were also nervous. Eldest uncle, who was speaking softly, had a sneer on his face. He knew that Xiao Shiyu was going to be in trouble. Not only her, but Lin Xian beside her was also going to be in trouble, because these 2 people had offended Qing Qian. With the strength that Qing Qian had displayed, it was very likely that he would be able to obtain the first place. At that time, if the other party were to make a move, the 2 of them would not be able to escape death. This way, he would be able to get rid of a great enemy without having to do anything. Thinking of this, first uncle was very happy. Time passed slowly. There was only 1 day left. Most of the day had passed, and the sun was about to set. During this process, quite a few people failed, coughing out blood and suffering injuries, retreating in dejection. Of course, there were also some who succeeded, and they were very happy. There were even more who were still working hard. They had a high chance of succeeding, but if they were not careful, they might fail. Xiao Shiyu was in such a situation. The beasts in front of her were being suppressed by her palm, and she was continuously performing the hallucination song. From the start till now, she had not stopped. To her, this was a huge drain. This was because the soul resistance of these beasts was very scary. She was affected, but fortunately, she did not have to worry about the threat of other beasts. This was because any beast that dared to come close would be sent flying by Lin Xian with a slap. Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, this is the last one. There's still time. We can definitely pass." Xiao Shiyu nodded and did not say anything, but she was very grateful. With Lin Xian here, she felt that he could do anything. Countless people were paying attention to this battle, especially those from Shanghai Palace. They had to select some geniuses from here for each battle. Naturally, Qing Chun and the other 3 experts were chosen. Moreover, there was no problem for these people to enter Shanghai Palace. But as for the others, they were also observing. At this moment, from afar, a cloud floated up, and there was a young man on it. He sat there lazily and looked down. His gaze swept across the area. It seemed that there were many experts this time. That was the #1 genius of the Green Clan. He was really arrogant. Did he think that he was #1 now? The young man looked at Qing Qian and snorted, then turned his head to look. Mu Lingfeng was calm and composed. It seemed that he still had a trump card. This Hanxiu was also mysterious. It seemed that he had not used his full strength. This person was interesting. When the young man looked at Guyu, the corners of his mouth lifted into a smile. I finally understood why he did not need any help. The people around were very surprised to hear this. Who was this person who could level the world? When they saw the 5 runes in the eyes of the young man's sleeves, they were all stunned. He turned out to be a 5-soul beast tamer. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also saluted him. "Greetings, Elder Ruachin." This made those from other sects even more shocked. These people were also 5-soul beast tamers, but they were so respectful to this young man. It was not hard to imagine how terrifying this young man's strength and status were. Elder Ruachin nodded slightly and looked around again. When he saw Lin Xian, his eyes lit up and the corners of his mouth lifted into a smile. Not bad. Interesting. Although this kid was not a beast tamer, His body was really amazing. He should be famous for his super strong body. To be able to hire such a person as a helper. He looked at Xiao Shiyu and nodded slightly. Although she was not as good as Qing Qian and the others, she was still in the process. However, she did not make any mistakes from the beginning to the end. It seemed that her soul foundation was very deep, and her talent was not bad. If she was trained well, she would be a strong person in the future. More importantly, he could see that Xiao Shiyu was much younger than Qing Qian, Lone Moon, and the others. The experts of Shanghai Palace around were surprised. Elder Ruochen thought highly of Xiao Shiyu. It was really incredible. Elder Ruochen said calmly, "Just look around." Suddenly, he looked at Lin Xian with a look of surprise in his eyes. Then he sensed carefully, and the corners of his mouth lifted into a smile. Interesting. It was getting more and more interesting. It seemed that it was hard to tell who would win this time. The elders around were all stunned. Elder Xiangui said, "Elder Ruochen, do you really think highly of Xiao Shiyu? I don't think it is possible for her to enter the top 10. Yes, she is still too young. She might have a chance next time." Another elder next to him said. Elder Yin Luo refuted. "Why? Do you doubt Elder Ruochen's words?" Chapter 4583. Elder Black Turtle's expression changed. "Of course, I don't dare to refute Elder Ruochen, but forgive me for my ignorance. I really don't see how they can win." The other elders were also discussing. Then they asked Elder Ruochen to give them some advice. Elder Ruochen stood on the cloud. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Although he had the appearance of a youth, he was an old monster. He said with a smile. His focus was not on Xiao Shiyu. Xiao Shiyu was not bad, but it was a little difficult for her to get into the top 10. She was the best in the second echelon. As she grew older, she would definitely be in the first echelon. Everyone nodded. That was what they thought. So they thought that Yi Xin would not get into the top 10. Was there a problem? At that moment, Elder Ruochen changed the topic and continued. However, the assistant beside him was no ordinary individual. With his help, this time, I think it will be very interesting. I don't know how far he can go. The assistant next to him? Countless elders looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was surrounded by soul pressure. The monsters in front of him were all prostrating on the ground. Everyone was surprised. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Although he did not look back, he could feel the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were looking at him. Thinking of that, he smiled. Did they notice something different about me? Looks like there are really strong people in the Mountain Sea Palace. Xiao Shiyu's face turned pale as well. However, she soon felt that the elders had retracted their gazes. We didn't see anything. Elder Black Turtle and others were confused. Elder Ruochen said, "It's normal that you can't see anything because this guy is hiding very well." After saying that, he did not say anything else. Instead, he sat cross-legged on the cloud. He was surprised. Although he was also a beast tamer with a martial soul, he was much stronger than Elder Black Turtle and others. Therefore, he could see that Lin Xian not only had a super strong body, but also a terrifying soul. However, the moment he looked at the other party, just as he wanted to see through the other party's secrets, he discovered that there was a pair of golden eyes above him, looking down at him as if warning him. That was an eye technique. Not only that, it was an extremely powerful eye technique. Although the young man in front of him wasn't a beast master, he had a pair of incomparably mystical eyes. If this pair of eyes were to explode with power, it would be unimaginable. Controlling demonic beasts would not be a problem at all. That was why he said that no one knew the final outcome. Everything depended on Lin Xian's performance. The surrounding elders became even more curious. They all knew about Elder Ruochen's side. The people that he thought highly of were all top-notch experts. He was probably even stronger than Qing Chun and the others. However, they really couldn't figure out who this strange man was. He is Xiao Shiyu's assistant. In that case, the Xiao clan should know of his identity. Should we head to the Xiao clan and ask them about it? Some elders stood up, and the others nodded in agreement. However, Elder Ruochen opened his eyes and said with a smile, "Sit down. There's no need to ask. If this little guy really wanted to help Xiao Shiyu, he would definitely unleash more of his strength. At that time, you will see his true strength. Up ahead, the competition continued. Xiao Shiyu was still not done. Because of the anger of the demonic beast, she was also affected by it. She was stronger than Xiao Yunshu, so she was able to block it. However, it still affected her speed. At that moment, it was already the final moment. It wouldn't be long before she was done. At that moment, the three demonic beasts at the side prostrated themselves at Xiao Yu's feet. Xiao Yu stood up with a smile at the corner of her mouth. She looked at Xiao Shiyu and snorted. Did you see that? My speed is faster than yours. I am the #1 genius of the Xiao clan. The people of the Xiao clan were also surprised. Eldest uncle even laughed. As expected of his daughter, she didn't disappoint him. This time, her speed was even faster than Xiao Shiyu's. This way, he could fight for more resources for his daughter. Once she became the young clan leader, it would be theirs. Xiao Shiyu's mother, the seventh elder, snorted. If it wasn't for the anger of the demonic beast, Xiao Shiyu would have been done long ago. What was there to be arrogant about? Eldest uncle laughed. That's not right. The process of the battle wasn't important. What was important was the result. Now, it was clear that my daughter's strength and talent were above Xiao Yu's. Both sides were at odds with each other. Third elder's father came out to mediate. All right, everyone was from the same clan. They had to fight for the glory of the Xiao clan. The seventh elder snorted in anger. Eldest uncle also sat down proudly. At that moment, another roar came from the front. Xiao Shiyu stood up. She had successfully subdued the three demonic beasts. That's great. The seventh elder's lips curled into a smile. At the front, Xiao Shiyu heaved a sigh of relief. It was finally done. You must be tired. Lin Xian laughed. If it wasn't for the anger of the demonic beasts, we would have been done long ago. Xiao Shiyu nodded. That's right. Anyway, we passed the second round. We'll work hard for the third round. Humph. What's there to be arrogant about being the last to finish? Xiao Yu sneered. Lin Xian glanced at her and shook his head. She really didn't know what was good for her. Until now, he hadn't displayed his strength. He only helped Xiao Shiyu to subdue the demonic beasts. If he were to display his powerful soul force, their strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. At that time, these people would be scared silly. That's why he didn't say anything. Chapter 4584. Finally, the day was over, and those demonic beasts once again returned to the spatial rift. Elder Qieling walked out and looked at the people in the square below. There were only 45 people left in the square. Not even 50 people were left. One could only imagine how terrifying the second stage was. Those who had completed the second stage looked solemn. They knew that there would be a tougher competition waiting for them. These 45 people were all experts among experts. None of them were weak. However, they still had to choose the top 10. Only the top 10 would be chosen by the Shanghai Palace. The next stage would be even more exciting. Elder Qieling looked down and said, "To give you guys some motivation, I've decided to announce the prize that the Shanghai Palace has prepared." Hearing this, many people's eyes lit up and they looked forward to it. There were many families in Shanghai City, but the strongest was still the Shanghai Palace. They had been around for so long that no one knew when the Shanghai Palace had been around. It seemed like the Shanghai Palace had been around ever since Shanghai City was built. For such a terrifying and ancient sect, the prize would definitely be amazing. Everyone looked forward to it. Elder Seven Spirit's voice rang out as the reward for the first place. It was a unique soul technique, the seal of life and death. Hearing this, many people were in an uproar. The family members of the beast tamers were envious because they had heard that it was a terrifying soul technique. Only the people of the Shanghai Palace had it, and it was very rare. Only a small number of elders could cultivate it. Who would have thought that it would be the prize for the first place? The seal of life and death, as the name suggested, could allow one to live or die with a thought. It could be said to be a terrifying soul technique. As expected, the Green Clan and Xiao Clan all stood up, especially the Green Clan. They were extremely excited. If Qingchen could get first place, The seal of life and death would be theirs. On the square, Qingqin's eyes shone brightly. No matter what, he had to get the seal of life and death. Beside him, Gu Yu, Mu Linfeng, and Han Qiu's eyes shone with a terrifying light. They'd all fight for it. That was because to them, it was a supreme treasure. As for the others, they could only be envious. First place was too far away for them. The reward for the second place was a Saint King Grade Soul Saint artifact. It was equally terrifying. After obtaining it, coupled with his soul energy, his strength would increase exponentially. The reward for the third place was a demonic beast. It was a demonic beast. Furthermore, it could grow. If he grew up, he would be incomparably terrifying. He would definitely be the most valiant assistant. The rewards for the top three were unparalleled, and any one of them could cause a storm in Shanghai City. In particular, the seal of life and death was something that countless people yearned for. Apart from the top three, the rewards for the top 10 were also very generous. In short, it was enough to make everyone jealous. When the atmosphere calmed down, Elder Seven Spirits spoke once more. Also, to be able to get into the top 10, they were all top geniuses. In that case, no one will be able to touch you. You will receive the protection of the Mountain Sea Palace. Once these words were spoken, everyone cried out in alarm again. This was equivalent to a life-saving talisman. The Mountain Sea Palace was the only overlord. None of the Beast Tamer clans dared to offend them. Therefore, it was everyone's dream to receive such treatment. Hearing these words, Xiao Shiyu's eyes lit up. If she could get it, even if she left her clan, the Green Clan would not dare to touch her. They would also not let her get married. Therefore, she had to get into the top 10. The other people were also discussing spiritedly. At this moment, Elder Seven Spirits spoke once more. It seemed like the rewards were not over yet. As expected, Elder Seven Spirits spoke. Apart from these rewards, those who intend to get into the top 10 have a chance of being noticed by the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace. They might even take you in as a disciple. Join the Mountain Sea Palace. The people in the square took a deep breath. To be able to join the Mountain Sea Palace was a great honor. Their status and strength would soar to the heavens. As expected of the Mountain Sea Palace, any reward that came out would make people jealous. The surrounding spectators were also discussing. They had already started guessing the top 10 rankings. The top 3 would be from Qingqin, Guyue, and the others. However, the top 10 was not certain. Everyone looked hopeful. However, they did not know how to compete in the last round. Elder Seven Spirits said, "The last round will take a long time. We will release the demonic beasts in 10 days. This time, the demonic beast will be from the early stage of the Saint King realm to the late stage of the Saint King realm. You will try your best to control the strongest demonic beast you can control. Then, you will compete. The rankings will be based on your victory and defeat." Next, Elder Seven Spirits spoke in more detail about the competition. Everyone was shocked. This time, not only did they have to control the demonic beasts, they also had to fight with them. It was indeed the Mountain Sea Battle Beast. This was the most important part. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. Are there still battles? He nodded slightly. In that case, the rankings were based on the level of the demonic beasts they could control and the results of the battles. If they could control a late-stage, Saint King Realm demonic beast. If the others could not control it, then there was no need to compete. However, it was estimated that no one present could control a late-stage, Saint King Realm demonic beast. No matter how powerful Qingqin and the others were, they could only control a mid-stage, Saint King Realm demonic beast. In that case, they would have to compete. Xiao Shiyu took in a deep breath as well. Her future would depend on the ranking this time. As long as she could get into the top 10, she would not need to get married. Otherwise, she would probably end up in a miserable state. Therefore, this was a battle with her back against the wall. Lin Xian walked over and said, "Don't worry. With my help, you will have no problem getting into the top 10. In the end, this battle could finally make him take it seriously. Next, everyone began to recover. A day later, everyone stood up. The enchantment around them had become even more terrifying, and a crack appeared in the sky again. This time, A terrifying aura descended from the sky and swept in all directions. There were not only mid-stage Saint King Realm demonic beasts, but also late-stage Saint King Realm demonic beasts. The late-stage Saint King Realm demonic beast was called the Golden Spirit Beast. It was surrounded by golden light. It had a powerful force. It was like a supreme overlord. It roared into the sky, and the demonic beasts around it left one after another. No one dared to approach the space where it was. In the square, those beast tamers also took a deep breath. They felt a huge pressure. But fortunately, these were all demonic beasts suppressed by the Mountain Sea Palace. They would not be in danger. Chapter 4585. The jade flute in Xiao Shiyu's hand shone brightly. Apparently, she was going to exert her strongest power this time. Terrifying notes surrounded her, carrying the aura of the Great Path. A sharp glint appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. He was looking forward to this battle. On the other side, a shocking light appeared. Everyone felt pain in their souls. The green eyes were terrifying. It was Qing Chun. Was he going to use his eyes of the blade? Many people looked over in surprise. Qing Chen's eyes were cold. Not only that, a mirror appeared in his hand. It was also a soul-sacred artifact. It seemed that Qing Chun was going to use his full strength this time. Qing Chen's power surprised everyone. They were talking about it. Those from the Thousand Transformation clan laughed. It seemed that young Master Qing Chun was very close to becoming a three-soul beast tamer. He could break through at any time. Those from the Green clan laughed. Yes, Qing Chun was very talented. It would not be a problem for him to break through to become a three-soul beast tamer, and he would definitely become a five-soul beast tamer in the future. Besides Qing Qian, Gu Yu, Mu Lingfeng, and others were also in their best condition, ready to attack. They looked around and began to look for beasts. Their targets were all middle-stage Sacred King Realm beasts, and they were all mutated beasts of heaven and earth. They were very terrifying. At this moment, someone exclaimed. Those from the Xiao clan were also shocked. They found Xiao Shiyu was moving. She was walking toward a giant creature. That enormous creature was completely black, and it carried a terrifying aura, causing the heavens and earth to crumble around it. It was like a divine dragon, but it was not a divine dragon. It was a Jiao dragon. A Jiao dragon of destruction. It was a terrifying beast with infinite power. It could destroy everything. Although it was not a real dragon, it was still a mutated beast of heaven and earth. Its power was so strong that it shocked everyone. It stood there like an overlord. Other beasts did not dare to approach it. Even those beast tamers did not dare to attack it. Unexpectedly, Xiao Shiyu was going to subdue this Jiao dragon of destruction. It was incredible. Dragons were the top divine beasts. They were very terrifying. Those related to the Dragon Ball were also terrifying. They were very difficult to control. But now, the other party had actually made such a choice. Exactly why? Could it be that the other party had been hiding his strength? The seventh elder was incomparably nervous. She knew that Drizzle was staking everything on this one throw, fighting with her back to the river. However, this was truly too risky. First, Uncle sneered. They were really overestimating themselves. Didn't they see that young Master Qingqin and the others didn't choose the Destruction Flood Dragon? Did she think that she was more powerful than young Master Qingqin and the others? I think she knows she won't get into the top 10, so she wants to take a risk. Failure was inevitable. The third elder and the others also sighed. It seemed like Xiao Shiyu was really too anxious to have actually made such a wrong choice. The other beast tamer clans were also discussing this. None of them had high hopes for Xiao Shiyu. On the Mountain Sea Palace's side, Elder Black Turtle also laughed. Wasn't this Xiao Shiyu too blind? The idea was good, but with her strength, could she control the Destruction Flood Dragon? He shook his head. He didn't believe it. It carried the aura of the dragon race, and it also carried the power of destruction. It was extremely difficult to control. If he tried to forcefully control it, there was a high chance that he would be injured or even killed. The other elders also shook their heads and sighed. Even Elder Yin Luo frowned. Was there really no hope? However, Elder Ruochen, who was sitting on the cloud, had a smile at the corner of his mouth. Was he going to make a move? It seemed like he was going to show his real strength. Little brat, let me see your true strength. He looked at Lin Xian with anticipation. The other beast tamers on the square also noticed it. Xiao Yu shouted coldly. This Xiao Shiyu was really too stupid. She was sure to win this time. She would prove to the clan that she was the strongest. Qingchen also sneered at this scene. He didn't pay any attention to her. Instead, he continued to choose his beast. Xiao Shiyu walked up. Taking a deep breath, she said to Lin Xian next to her. She was going to make a move. Lin Xian nodded and followed her. In front of them, the destruction flood dragon in the sky looked down at them. When it saw two humans daring to approach it, it instantly became angry. A roar shook the 9 heavens. Everyone felt their blood boiling as if their bodies were about to split apart. It was too scary. Were they really going to make a move on such a monster? This definitely angered the destruction flood dragon. The flood dragon next to it reached out its dragon claws and grabbed downward. It was like an ancient demon mountain. Even a mid-stage sacred king would be turned into a bloody mist instantly. This was not good, said the third elder. Even though the destruction flood dragon had just broken through to the middle stage of the Saint King realm, its blood and cosmic energy were too unusual. It was much stronger than ordinary beasts of the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Lu Yu was in danger. Everyone had the same thought. Xiao Shiyu's face turned pale. She felt great pressure. At this moment, she used her precepts to resist and formed a ward. Many cracks appeared on it instantly. Lin Gongzi, I'm counting on you. She could not resist it. She could only rely on Lin Xian. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Lin Xian walked out. Looking at the dragon claws descending from the sky, he threw out a palm. Boom. The entire sky was shattered. A terrifying force roared in all directions. The huge dragon claws were pushed back. The destruction flood dragon let out an angry roar. At this moment, everyone was stunned. One punch. He actually forced the destruction flood dragon to retreat. What kind of strength was that? Many experts from various clans stood up, their eyes filled with shock. The people from the Shao clan were equally shocked. The third elder gasped. He actually blocked the attack? The first uncle gritted his teeth. Damn it, he realized that he was wrong. From the beginning, he had neglected this young man. He actually had such terrifying strength. He actually blocked the attack of the destruction flood dragon. This way, the other party really had a chance. The seventh elder smiled. As expected of his daughter, her eyesight was really good. The people from the Green clan were also shocked. Who was this person? Where did he come from? Quickly go and investigate. The clan leader's eyes flickered. No wonder Xiao Shiyu dared to resist. It turned out that she had found a body-tempering expert. But soon, he sneered. So what if this young man was strong? So what if he could fight against the destruction flood dragon? Was he strong enough to control the flood dragon? He did not think so. Even if he was suppressed, he could not be controlled. So, he was too weak compared to them. Haha, there was nothing to be afraid of. The experts from the Green clan laughed and sat down. But in the next moment, they jumped up. The smiles on their faces froze. All of them were shocked. Below, Lin Xian attacked again after he succeeded. He clenched his fist and punched the destruction flood dragon. That huge body was sent flying. Dragon blood dripped down from the sky. Chapter 4586. He actually injured the destruction flood dragon. Countless people were shocked. They couldn't believe it. Fighting and injuring were two different concepts. The destruction flood dragon's body was so strong that he could break through its defense. This person's strength was much stronger than they imagined. The people of the Green clan were dumbfounded. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were also stunned. This was a hidden expert. No wonder Elder Ruochen valued him so much. Not to mention them, even Xiao Shiyu was shocked. She knew that Lin Xian was strong, but she didn't expect him to be so strong that he could even injure the destruction flood dragon. Thinking of this, she took a deep breath and her eyes lit up. That's great. If that's the case, her chances will be much higher. Xiao Yunshu, who was watching from the back, was stunned when she saw this scene. What kind of strength was this? She actually underestimated such a person. Thinking of this, she felt her face turn red. What right did she have to look down on him? Suddenly, she remembered that when she tested him, he only caught 3 demonic beasts. Young Master Xiao Yao caught 10 demonic beasts. She was very suspicious now. She asked Xiao Yao, who was next to her. You were the one who secretly tested him, right? Young Master Xiao Yao was already under Lin Xian's control, so he answered honestly. That's right. Those 10 demonic beasts were not caught by him. They were caught by Lin Gongzi. Sure enough, Xiao Yunshu sighed. Why was she so stupid? She didn't realize it. If he had been nicer to her, would she have stayed by his side? If so, she would be able to participate in the 3rd round. Thinking of this, she was extremely disappointed and regretful. Apart from her, the others were also stunned. The people of the Green Clan couldn't believe it. Was this Xiao Shiyu's trump card? They were a little nervous. The leader of the Green Clan said coldly, Don't worry. No matter how strong he is definitely not Chen Er's opponent. Just wait. When Chen Er reaches the peak, he will definitely suppress them. He will send them all to hell. With such an assistant, getting into the top 10 would be no problem. Elder Yin Luo smiled. Elder Black Tortoise snorted. So what? No matter how strong he can't be compared to my disciple. Elder Yin Luo clenched her teeth. She prayed in her heart that Xiao Shiyu could defeat Qing Chen and trample him under her feet. She looked ahead carefully. Lin Xian swept through everything in his path. The destruction flood dragon was sent flying, completely suppressed and unable to resist. Xiao Shiyu rushed forward and hurriedly used the illusory sound song to control it. So fast, it was suppressed. Elder Black Tortoise couldn't believe it. The corners of Elder Yin Luo's mouth curled into a smile. However, at this moment, someone said, Look, it seems that the solitary Yu courtyard is about to succeed. Everyone was surprised and turned their heads to look. Guyu was standing in the air. His powerful soul energy swept through everything. In front of him, there was a ferocious tiger covered in flames. It was a strange tiger, extremely terrifying. However, at this moment, he seemed to be unable to withstand the extraordinarily strong soul pressure. Impossible! Elder Black Tortoise exclaimed. How could Lone Moon be so fast? In the 2nd round, his disciple was the first to complete it. Could it be that Lone Moon was still hiding his true abilities? Another elder said. Guyu was a beast tamer with 3 souls. His trump cards were not limited to this. The elders looked at it carefully and were shocked beyond words. Why do I feel the power of 2 souls from him? What is going on? Many people were shocked. Even the experts from the other sects felt it. They were all surprised. At this moment, Elder Ruachin said, You are right. He has 2 souls. A person with 2 souls? No wonder he doesn't need an assistant. Those from the Mountain Sea Palace were stunned. How rare it was for a genius to have 2 souls. Guyu's soul energy was much stronger than ordinary people. No wonder he became a beast tamer with 3 souls at such a young age. This was his real trump card. Once he used the power of 2 souls, who could be his opponent? At this moment, roars could be heard from other places as well. It turned out to be Mu Linfeng. Mu Linfeng was also going all out at this moment. An ancient voice came from him as if it had traveled across time and space. He had a black drum in his hand. He kept beating it, and the power it brought suppressed everything. The diamond ape in front of him was also shaking. It seemed that it would not be long before it was completely subdued. Everyone was using their powers. No one dared to relax. In front of Qing Qian stood a demon with terrifying runes all over its body. It was called the giant demon statue. It was very terrifying and was known for its great strength. At this moment, the giant demon statue's eyes were filled with madness. Its soul was being attacked by the blade. At this moment, the giant demon statue roared into the sky. Its power shook heaven and earth. Many people were sent flying and vomited blood. Run. The demon is going to be angry. Something like this had happened before. Is it going to happen again? Everyone was shocked. Is Qing Qian going to fail? Everyone was nervous. But soon, they realized that was not the case. The blade in Qing Chen's eyes seemed to have materialized and pierced through heaven and earth. The giant demon statue could not bear the terrifying power. That was why it went crazy. However, after this crazy attack, a green light appeared in the giant demon statue's eyes. It had been completely subdued. Boom! The giant demon statue came to Qing Chen and knelt on the ground. Qing Chen's body swayed and stood on the giant demon statue. Chapter 4587. At this moment, everyone's attention was on Xiao Shiyu. Xiao Shiyu's face turned pale. The destruction flood dragon in front of her was attacking fiercely, trying to break out of the seal. Lin Xian sneered. You want to break out? Suppress me. He took a step forward and roared. The roar of a dragon resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. At this moment, the destruction serpent was prostrated on the ground. The surrounding demonic beasts were also forced to retreat, their bodies swaying unsteadily. The beasts roared as if they were worshipping their king. What's going on? Everyone was stunned. Does this kid have the bloodline of the dragon tribe? Just now, what was the situation? The people of the Mountain Sea Palace were shocked. The people of the Green Tribe were shocked, and so were the other experts. Lin Xian did not care about these people. This time, he used his soul power to suppress the destruction flood dragon with his gaze. It formed a golden hand and pressed down on the destruction flood dragon's soul, destroying it continuously. The destruction flood dragon was frightened to begin with. At this moment, it roared and did not resist anymore. Xiao Shiyu, hurry up. Xiao Shiyu nodded and seized the opportunity to attack. The destruction flood dragon still wanted to resist, but at this moment, it seemed to see a pair of golden eyes looking down at it. If it dared to resist, its soul would be torn into pieces instantly. It did not dare to resist anymore and submitted obediently. Was it subdued? The surrounding people were shocked and could not believe it. Before this, no one was optimistic about Xiao Shiyu. They did not expect Xiao Shiyu to succeed. Of course, they knew that a large part of it was due to Lin Xian. Lin Xian's physique was too strong, and he directly destroyed the destruction flood dragon. That's great. Xiao Shiyu cheered while Xiao Yu's face was pale. Did he succeed? She had failed. Previously, she was still boasting that her strength had surpassed Lin Xian's. But now, she realized that it was really laughable. Lin Xian had successfully subdued the destruction flood dragon, completely surpassing her. She lowered her head, feeling too ashamed to face the crowd. The people of the Xiao tribe were also shocked. The elders cheered while the uncle gritted his teeth. Damn it! He couldn't believe it. Now, his only hope was on young Master Qing Chun. He hoped that young Master Qing Chun would be able to deal with the two of them. Seeing that Xiao Shiyu had successfully subdued the destruction serpent dragon, Qing Chen's face turned gloomy. Damn it, this had exceeded his expectations. He couldn't take it anymore. He didn't want to wait any longer. Boom. He urged the giant demonic elephant to sweep the area. At the same time, his cold voice rang out. I don't think we need to wait any longer. It's time to start now. What? Should we start now? The surrounding people were all stunned. Some of them had yet to tame their demonic beasts. How do I start now? Lone Moon nodded. There was indeed no need to wait any longer. I think the first place will be decided among the few of us. Let's fight first. Although there were still some people who didn't succeed, those people couldn't threaten them at all. They couldn't affect their rankings. They wanted to be the first to decide on the winner. After all, everyone wanted to obtain the seal of life and death. I was thinking the same thing. Mu Lingfeng stood on the diamond ape and nodded. On the other side, Han Xiu also said, Let's begin. The sea demon under her feet roared. Endless seawater spread in all directions. Was it going to start? The surrounding spectators were also nervous. The final battle was about to begin. The first place would be decided among the few of them. Of course, they excluded Xiao Shiyu because they felt that even if Xiao Shiyu had subdued the destruction serpent dragon, she wouldn't be able to get the first place. You can fight among yourselves first. I've settled one person first. Qing Chan turned around and stared coldly at Xiao Shiyu. I didn't expect you to make it this far. I'm really surprised. However, this battle is over. I'll defeat you personally. After it's over, I'll marry you. As for the brat beside you, I'll make him stay here forever today. There's no need for him to live anymore. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect Qing Qin's first battle to be against Xiao Shiyu. No, the people of the Xiao clan were full of despair. They were originally very excited because according to the situation, Xiao Shiyu wouldn't be able to get into the top 3. However, she would definitely get the 5th place, because none of the others could threaten the Destruction Serpent Dragon. However, if they were to defeat Xiao Shiyu, they might not even have a chance to get into the top 10, let alone the 5th place. If they missed this opportunity, the Xiao clan would suffer a great loss. At the thought of this, the clan leader of the Xiao clan stood up and said coldly, "Young Master Qing Chun, please calm down. This matter has nothing to do with Xiao Shiyu. It's all because of this brat. This brat is really despicable. He has offended young Master Qing Chun. I hope young Master Qing Chun can kill this brat and let Xiao Shiyu off. After all, we still have to get married." As soon as these words were spoken, the people of the Xiao clan fell silent. 2 elders stood up immediately. This time, the Great Elder and the Second Elder followed closely behind the clan leader of the Xiao clan. "Yes, that's right. I hope the Green clan won't start a war with us. Killing that brat should be able to appease your anger." The others remained silent. They knew that Xiao Shiyu's current achievements were all because of Lin Xian. Were they going to give up on Lin Xian now? To be honest, some of them were embarrassed. For example, the 3rd elder shook his head and sighed. He couldn't go against the clan leader, but he wouldn't support him either. On the other hand, the 7th elder stood up and gritted his teeth. "You're really despicable. Back then, you used despicable means to obtain the position of the clan leader. Now, you want to embarrass the Xiao clan in front of everyone? Xiao Shiyu's current achievements were all because of that young man. Now that you want to kill him, what would the world think of us? Are the people of the Xiao clan all ungrateful people? Great, they're going to fight." The eldest uncle sneered. "It's best if they perish together. That way, he could reap the benefits." The clan leader of the Xiao clan said coldly, "7th elder, who allowed you to speak? I call the shots in the Xiao clan. Are you sure? I don't think Xiao Shiyu is an ungrateful person. If you insist on doing this, Xiao Shiyu and I will leave the Xiao clan from now on. The results of this competition have nothing to do with the Xiao clan." The 7th elder gritted his teeth and said. When Xiao Shiyu heard this, her face turned pale. These people were going to give up on Lin Xian? It was really too disappointing. Hearing her mother's words, she also said, "That's right. If you insist on doing this, I'm willing to leave the Xiao clan." "Audacious. You're rebelling." The clan leader of the Xiao clan snorted. "Do you know what you're saying? The clan has spent so many resources to nurture you. Now, you're saying that you don't belong to the Xiao clan? Are you kidding?" He became extremely malevolent. "After we return, you'll see how I'll punish you according to the clan rules." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.